Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Talk Radio.
Oh, yes. No. Thank you very much indeed. We'll have none of that. This is live. It's 9:59. Well, I don't even know what day it is. Is it Tuesday? Why the hell not? Where the hell have you been, you slackers? 0344 499. I'm not telling you the rest.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hang on, this is a song. Hang on. Oh, nuts. Hang on, this is a song. Hang on. Here we go. Hang on. This is a song. It's not working. Hang on. I've been obsessed about this song. The whole time I've been off. Let's try this. Hang on a minute. Oh, dear. Hang on.
You're gonna have to sing it at this rate.
No. This is a great song. You know, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Don't wait. What I'll do is I'll click into the old. It's gonna be a very gentle show. I'm worrying. I'm not worrying. I've probably come back 2 days early, so I'm already flagging. But don't you worry, guys. Don't you worry. Who knew that tonsillitis, a thing that 7-year-olds get, is actually an incredibly psychedelic disease? I was all over the shop last week. I don't even know what I did last week. Hang on, here we go. This is a song. Listen to this. Here we go. This is a song. Have this. This is a song. Right, turn the mics off. This is a song. This is the only radio station in the world that is playing She Knows All About Boys from David Cassidy's 1985 comeback album, Romance. And I don't know why. I do not know why. 0344 499 1000. But this last week, I've been so ill. And I've been obsessed with the album. For some reason, the album popped in. I'll tell you why. Because in my bedroom, where I spent last week tripping my nuts off. It was like, Haight-Ashbury, 1967. Oh, I was away with the fairies. On the Wednesday, I got up and I'm shuffling through the house, right, in just my pyjamas, right, my pyjama trousers, and literally I'm walking like this, right, I'm walking like this, this speed, right, and my wife was in the other room. She goes, "Ian, where are you going?" "I'm going downstairs." "What are you going downstairs for?" "I'll go and see my mum."
Oh.
"You what?"
"I'm going to go and see my mum."
"Your mum's not here, Ian."
I can hear her talking downstairs.
"Ian, your mum's not here. You're delirious. Go back to bed."
"Oh, Mum, I'm coming to..."
"Ian, go to bed now."
"Oh, I'm going to speak to her later."
Went back to bed, right? And then a couple of hours later, then my wife comes in and says, "Do you want anything?" And I started crying. She goes, "What are you crying for?" I said,
"There's this bloody cat. This cat is just everywhere, and I can't work out if it's Velvet or Toby."
Now, Toby was the cat we had when I was a kid, who died when I was 11, and we moved to Farnham Common. We moved to a main road, and he got run over. Oh. And I was thinking, well, I knew it couldn't be Toby. I was like 60% sure it wasn't Toby, right? But then I was kind of about 60% sure it wasn't Velvet, because I was thinking I had Velvet around about the time of September the 11th, 9/11. I thought I can't have had, that was years ago. And so I got very upset about that. And then, this may have been the same day, I'd got no idea. And then I remember my wife looking, "Do you want anything?" And I was in tears. She goes, "What are you crying for now?" "I can't remember when I left LBC." She goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I know I don't work there. I don't know you think I'm being, I don't work there. But was it recent?" I was in floods of tears. Bloody LBC. And this is just tonsillitis. Who'd have thought that 7 to 11-year-olds have the psychedelic key that unlocks them and connects them with the universe? I was floating through space. Yes, admittedly, I was in absolute agony. My neck was the size of a small village. I couldn't swallow. Every part of my body, I was in sweats and then shivering. I was in agony. But dear God, it was like 19, I was at Woodstock, man.
But you'd left it to the point where your tonsils were poisoning you. That's the vibe,
Is that what it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, God, I knew I was sick when on one day I woke up and I was awake from 5 o'clock, and so I was listening to Steve Allen. I knew I was ill then.
Something wrong, yeah.
I knew that I'd crossed the line and I was not a well man. I was
Were you
listening
enjoying it though?
I was thinking it was all right, actually.
Oh, gosh.
And I, at some point last week, I went to a walk-in centre and I made a point. I woke up at 5 and I thought, I've got to go to the doctors because I've got no idea what's going on here. It's getting worse and worse. So I saw the walk-in centre opened at 8. So at 7 I got up and I drove and I got there at 7:30. I'm sat in the car park. They opened the door at 10 to 8. So I went in. I was the first one in there, right? And then 2 people came in and I was sat in a chair, and then this woman came in and the woman said, "No, I'm sorry, we can't do any bookings till 8 o'clock. I've got an appointment. We can't do any bookings till 8 o'clock. I'm afraid we've got 5 minutes." And then I saw this fella coming in. I thought she's nabbed my spot. He's going to try and nab my number too. And he did. He went and stood right up at the counter. So I got up, completely off my nut. I got up, and he stood at the counter there. And I just went and stood right next to him at the counter. And then he started going, implying that he had a breathing thing, and his breathing thing was important. And I just thought...
So what did you do?
Spat on him.
Oh...
Luckily, then the woman came and she went, OK, you can see now, everyone, this gentleman was first. And then she said, I couldn't speak at this point because my throat was so tight. She said, what can we do for you today? And I went, I want the doctor. She said, why is that? And I went, I'm not very well. That was my answer.
Oh, yeah.
And do you know what? She accepted that as an answer.
Well, so she should.
She accepted it. I was seen
Passed the test.
I was seen within 20 minutes. And a nurse went, you've got tonsillitis. And I went, oh, no. And she gave me some pills, which I'm still taking, some penicillin. And I don't know what day that was. And then I managed to get home. And I'm glad I went then, because after that, boy, oh boy, it was skyrockets in.
Wasn't that a Thursday?
No, it's before Thursday. I'd like to say Tuesday, but I didn't think I did anything on Tuesday. No, Tuesday? Jesus! So Tuesday I was ill, right? I wasn't completely delirious, but I was ill, and I took Tuesday off, right? But I still thought... So I went out and I bought loads of cough medicine and throat stuff, and I thought, right, I can't sit in the bedroom all day. I'm going to go and get a coffee in Costa. So I went out a coffee in Costa, and I just sat there, and I wasn't enjoying it, and I started crying, because it felt very emotional this last week. So I thought, I'm going to go back to bed. So I got up, and as I went out, I was parked on like a little sort of street, and this cyclist came bombing down the street and smacked into someone.
Wow.
I thought, oh, Jesus. And this guy who he smacked into went nuts. He had a big bucket of water, and basically the water went over him, but he smacked into him, right? He's going, what are you doing? Well, you got me soaking wet. What are you doing? And the guy went, you shouldn't have stepped out like that. And they're arguing. And I just went, all right. I said, all right, guys, listen, are you all right? The guy who got knocked hit, he went, yeah. I said, all right, just you were going a bit fast, man. I was doing the man thing. I was going, man, you're going a bit fast. What, the speed limit is what, 20 miles an hour? Was I doing 20 miles an hour on a bike? I said, well, yeah, but you should be able to stop if someone steps out and you hit him. And I'm just saying, man, you were a bit fast and, you know, what's it got to do with you, man?
Oh, gosh.
I was thinking, oh, Jesus, do you know, it has absolutely nothing to do with me. And I went, okay, well, I just saw you hit this gentleman. Are you okay? And this guy was kind of checking himself. And I said, look, okay. And I went to get in the car. And the guy in the bike went, yeah, go on, pee off.
Nice guy.
So I turned around and went, oh, right, okay, I was going to go, but now I'm going to offer to be a witness to this gentleman if he wants to take this. And what's it got to do with you? It's effing and jeffing. It's got to do with you. And I ignored him, and I was going to and then I just had enough. And as I went to get in the car, I just went, oh, mate, why don't you at least say sorry to him, you prick? Right. That was a big mistake. He then started. I then got in the car, and then he started getting a bit violent towards the car window. So what I did was I got my phone and I was trying to start periscoping it. I was going to periscope it. It didn't take. But so then I'm doing that thing of filming him. Yeah. And he's going, F off, you effing F.
This is the guy who's in the wrong.
Yeah.
Quite obviously.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And I'm at death's door thinking, oh, sweet Lord, what have I got myself involved
You do
with?
always end up in the middle of this stuff.
Well, I was just going to be a witness to the guy and I was feeling so ill, and he's having a go at me, and you know, the fair play, the guy that got hit was in shock, but and then I'm thinking, mate, stick up for me. Stick up for me. I've put my neck out on the line here. If you stick up anyway, so then I got obsessed with this David Cassidy album, his 1985 comeback album, Romance. The hit single from that was, of course, If This Is the Last Kiss.
Oh, right, yeah.
If this is the last touch, oh, yeah, you don't. And I bought that probably in about, so that came out in 1985, and I bought it as a tiny little record shop around the back of Slough. I was travelling through time and space last week, and suddenly I remembered, I don't know why. I do know why, but it's too complicated to explain. So suddenly I was back in this record shop in about 1990, buying this Romance album on cassette for 25p. And the guy in the shop at the time said, well, buying that, you really are in for a musical journey that's going to expand your mind. He was taking the mick. And I thought, well, that was rude.
You should have recorded it and took it back.
Well,
teach him right, serve him right.
It would teach him, serve him right.
Yeah.
Then I thought, I really want to get that album again. So I ordered it again. And every time I buy an album, I send the receipt off to my accountant. Research. And some of it I can claim back and some of it I can't. And he never passes any comment on any of the records I bought. But he sent me an email saying, Ian, sometimes your music taste is SH1T. My accountant.
2 out of 2.
My accountant. I'm thinking that's the same record. Isn't that weird? I'm going to buy it again in 20 years' time and test the theory. Be tuned. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. So my week has been tonsillitis, and just being absolutely exhausted and not being able to. I couldn't even read. I was so ill. I had some magazines and some books. I thought, well, at least I get to do some couldn't even read. All I could do was listen to the radio, Radio 4 and Talk Radio and LBC, of course. One of those stations is not actually true. That was my constant companion, was the radio. It was the thing that kept me tethered. If I turned the radio off, I'd start floating too high, man.
Like a big bobblehead.
Yeah, the thing that kept me tethered. And I came in today. Well, yesterday's show was pre-recorded, and thank you, Catherine, for finishing that off, because I wasn't able to come in and finish that off, and I didn't listen to it. But I'm sure you did an excellent job, and lots of people have said really nice things.
Yeah,
really
sorry
nice
about
things.
the bed music and that, but that's the trouble with
pre-records,
because I don't know how many adverts they're going to stick in.
Exactly. So don't matter. It's a tiny, tiny thing. If that's all they can pick us up on, then beautiful. And there were so many nice comments and words about it. And if you missed it, we'll explain what it was a bit later on, and we'll tell you about how the podcast can fill in the gaps and stuff. So yesterday's show was. So I was always thinking, I haven't got to get back Monday. Okay, right. So that Tuesday. Now on Friday we're going to go to Manchester to do the show from the listener's house. I'm going to have to wear a hazmat orange suit or something so I don't give him the lurgy. Saturday we're doing the Rabbit Hole in Manchester. So I thought, right, Monday. And I just thought, today I've really got to come in and give this a good shot.
Brave soldier.
And I'm really regretting that decision, because I am knackered. I am absolutely knackered. My throat's still a little bit sore. And I've got the worst indigestion, like really painful. And it's fine now, but every now and then it'll just catch me and I'll just swallow it. Oh, jeez. I've lost just under a stone in weight since we last met. It's outrageous. All this because of tonsillitis. And because I was a 70s generation where everyone had their tonsils out. And I was yay close to getting my tonsils out. I remember my parents giving me the talk about how it would be quite painful, but you get to eat ice cream and jelly. And I was ready for it. And then for whatever reason, they stopped doing it. I guess kind of sensible. They were literally a generation of kids. They'd take them and scrape their throats out, which is an odd...
But you would get them in a jar.
You would get them in a jar, yeah.
So
I've eaten a lot of ice cream. And 2 bananas. I can tell you everything I've eaten in the past week. I've had 4 bowls of ice cream, 3 bananas. I had a bowl of hot custard and bananas. That was extravagant. I shouldn't have done that. I've had 2 chicken fillets, some peas. I really wanted some peas.
With the chicken, or just
with the chicken? Yeah,
right.
yeah. I had a bit of salad today. A little bit of salad. I had I went into town today to see if I'd be well enough to come here, and I had a New York cheesecake milkshake. Oh. Because I thought that's like I needed sugar. I needed to get some sugar in my body. And I thought that's kind of a meal and a drink. That's it. That's all I've eaten.
Good story.
Wow, thank you very much indeed. Well, here's another thing. We'll go to the break in a minute. And we've got Eben, we've got Jamie, and we've got Cleo. My filter on good stories versus bad stories is gone. It has gone. As possibly, well, I'm judging by your tone the last 3 minutes, possibly the last 20 minutes. Honestly, I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't care. I've got a short temper because I've been on Twitter 3 times and ended up telling everyone to F off. Every single time. You've seen that. Literally.
Leave it alone, Ian. Leave it alone. Oh, he's done it again.
Literally. Just telling everyone to F off. And then...
But did he make you feel better?
It did, but then I had to go and send, like, private messages to a lot of people saying, I'm really sorry, I've not been well. So, my filter on what is good and what is bad is kaput. With that in mind...
I'll let you know.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Don't forget to tick your Radio Diaries. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Now, here's the thing. The control panel in this studio is broken, and Paul Ross broke it, and so everyone's bad-mouthing Paul Ross. I won't bad-mouth Paul Ross. You want to know why? He's the only one of my colleagues who sent me a message saying, do you want me to come round and sit with you for a bit? Boom! Have that! Have that. Paul, you can damage as much professional equipment as you want, sir, because you, to me, are everything. Let's go to Eben. Good evening, Eben.
Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Eben.
I'm glad you're feeling better now, Ian.
Thank you very much indeed, Eben. Me too. What are you doing? Are you masturbating?
No, I'm actually on the train.
Masturbating on a train? This is outrageous.
No, I missed my first train because the Q&A that I went on longer than expected. And I would have had 2 minutes to catch the train.
Okay. You still not explain why you're masturbating on a train, Eben?
No, I'm not masturbating on a train.
It sounds like it.
No, I just had to wonder because I had some food in Wagamama's, then I was a bit late.
What was the Q&A about? Masturbation?
No, it was about Twin Town. It was with the director.
About who?
Do you know Twin Town?
Is that the Commitments?
No, it's a film set in Swansea, and it's about, like, drug addicts and...
Is that the Commitments?
No.
Well, that's the only film I know at the moment.
But today was one of my only, like, good days.
Hang on a minute, Kath's just arrived. Kath made me a drink. Thank you, Kath. Eben's joining us, and he's masturbating on a train.
Oh, gosh.
He's been to see the Commitments, and it's got him feeling horny.
Oh, I was in the Commitments, briefly.
Well, not the movie.
No, I was in a cover band.
That's not... You can't say I was in the Commitments.
I can.
He was apparently quite a handful, that young man. Yeah. He bought into the character. Mm-hmm. Where is he now? Still touring the Commitments?
Probably. I wasn't in that band. I was in another one called Upstream.
What's your what's your favourite song from the Commitments, Eben? Mustang Sally?
I haven't heard of them, actually.
That is when they start doing Mustang Sally. That's when they think, oh yeah, we've got a sound. We're going to be the Commitments. That's what that is.
It's true. When they say the language of soul is the language of riding.
I don't actually remember the movie.
Oh, I liked it.
I remember it was a thing, but it didn't get me horny on a train, though, Eben. That is that is peculiar.
I'm not.
You finised now, have you?
Oh,
okay.
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't been.
Yep. That's all right. Hey, listen, whatever, as long as you don't get caught.
No, it's just a bit under breath.
Yeah? So, Eben, what have you called in for? Just to show off?
No, I'm just called up because I'm quite bored and I just haven't listened to the radio in a while.
Yeah.
I just thought, call you up and then make me a bit happier about the week I've had.
Look what happened.
And then you get bullied. What's happened this week? Have you got beaten up in Tesco again?
No, not again. I've just been stressing around my exams and been thinking about the future if I screw up.
Have you? Hang on a minute. Have you done your exams?
No, I'm going to be doing my first year A-level now.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. It's not important. I got an E and a B, and that was over a period of 3 years. And look at me. I've got a job on the 16th biggest speech radio station in the country.
But also, I got 3 A's and I'm still working with this guy.
Here's the thing, Eben. She got 3 A's.
And a B.
I got an E and a B over 3 years. I'm earning 3 times what she is.
It totally
That's
is.
actually true. 3 times what she is.
Because what I'm mainly worried about, because all my friends are 3A-star students, and I'm not really.
It don't matter, obviously.
Eben, ditch it, mate. Honestly, listen. Thank you for that. It's an important thing to remember. A-levels don't count for jack. I'm 3 times what you're earning.
I know. My dad dug out my degree certificates.
That's really annoyed you.
It's annoyed. Life annoys me.
I love it.
My dad dug out my degree certificates. Yes, I have 2. And no one's ever asked to see them.
No.
They're not in a frame. They're just in a horrible brown envelope being stuffed in the back of a drawer.
The only time I had to show my GCSEs and A-levels was when I went to... I was not supposed to call it uni, according to Miranda Sawyer, who's telling me off on Twitter constantly, was when I went to uni. And that was the only time I've ever displayed them to anyone with not much pride.
I got a distinction in my degree.
What did you do a degree in?
I did joint honours, French and Spanish.
Joined writing.
French and Spanish, and I got distinction in spoken Spanish.
Mine pretty much was a degree in French and Saunders. It was performing arts, and we just watched comedy. We watched Laurel and Hardy. We got stoned and watched Laurel and Hardy and the Three Stooges, and then we got more stoned. Don't do drugs, kids. And we watch it in slow motion. I remember once we watched an entire Laurel and Hardy film
in the class.
No, we used to bunk off.
Oh,
in slow motion. So we watched it, and then we watched it all in slow motion. It took all day to watch this film, and it was great because you knew what was coming up, and you'd be thinking, "Oh God, Ollie! Oh no, his trousers are going to fall down." Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
So you watched him go in slow motion.
Oh, the Oliver Hardy looks to camera
brilliant,
are just delicious.
When he bangs his thumb that's already got a great big bandage on.
When Stan Laurel does something stupid, and then does something even more stupid, and then does something even more stupid, that ends up with Ollie on his fat arse on the floor, and he just looks at the camera as if to say, what the hell is going on here?
And then you've got James Finlayson doing his double takes.
Just...
How's that?
No,
put a double dose in there.
Those are absolutely delicious. And that was my degree. We then went for one module. We did a module. And this is good, actually. We called it Frame 313. What's Frame 313?
I don't know.
It's the exact frame in the Zabruder footage where the bullet hits Kennedy's head, frame 313, and it got taken out, and no one saw it for years and years, so you saw it. Anyway, so we did a piece called Frame 330. It's so pretentious, but wonderful. And it was us. There were 3 of us listening to a recording of a Three Stooges routine where they're trying to climb up something, and they've got a spike. One's got a spike in his shoe, and he treads on this guy's head. He goes, oh, my head! And we worked out, by sheer coincidence, that by playing that at a certain point as the Zabruder footage, as the bullet hit him, he went, oh, my head!
That's terrible!
Look out with that climbing spike! Oh, my head! And we did that. We got like an A for that. We just showed that. And then we did magic tricks, and it was all about illusions, and everything's an illusion and all of it. Got an A for that.
Listen, if you can justify it, that's the joy of an arts degree.
0344 499 1000. This really is a fair to middling show this evening. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Turns out I spoke to Scott last week. I don't remember. Scott's just messaged me on Twitter. You were talking to me about the cat a lot. I replied, oh, did we talk? Yes, I rung you 3 times. I was trying to let me come over. You were talking like my nan was speaking when she had a stroke. You were talking about your cat. You were shouting at me saying, why are you asking me so many questions? Why are you trying to make me feel bad?
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
I don't remember
I've kept all the text you sent me, flipping it.
Why are you asking me so many questions? Well, Scott, I'd stand by that. Why were you asking me so many questions?
The thing was, it was difficult to know whether you were doing a thing, and then I realised you weren't.
No, I don't do a thing anymore. Jamie!
Jamie.
Yes?
I think it's Jamie you're after, not Amy.
What?
I called in and said my name was Jamie, and you just said Amy.
No, I said Jamie.
In which case, I really, really apologise.
The apology is not... Listen, everyone's confused, guys.
From now on, you're Amy.
Amy.
Yeah, I know, please.
What would have happened is... let's get technical. I would have said Jamie, and as I was saying the J, I would have touched the screen, and your phone would have, just for a second, flicked off. So you'd have heard Amy. But, you listen back to the tapes, guys. I'll take you to court. I will see you. I will have my day in court, and they will play the recording of this. And boy, oh boy, Amy, you will, Jamie, you will regret the day you tried to sue me.
Mr. Lee, if you say it, then it's good enough for me.
May God bless you, Amy. What you got for us?
Anyway, the reason I called, firstly, I was calling primarily to discuss your conversations last night, but predominantly with Chris Ryder. I've been a radio, what you would describe as a radio geek, since around 89, 90.
Yep.
And there were a number of things that came out in your conversations last night which were just a total joy. I was thinking back when I was listening to the first caller you had tonight, when you said all the interesting characters are out between 10 and 1.
Yeah.
And there you go, you've got somebody on a train.
Knocking one out.
Well, we'll never know.
We know. We know.
Last time he called us, he pooed his pants.
Let me just finish. For those who missed it last night, because people don't listen on the bank holiday, or they thought I was going to be off, or they were upset it wasn't Jake, or whatever. It was a show that we've been working on for a while, me and Kath. And it was just going to be an hour at one point, but then we just kept getting really excited and asking people, and it was me interviewing some who I consider to be proper radio legends, and a lot of them have worked here at Talk Radio, Talk Sport. We had Caesar the Geezer, Mike Mendozoff, James H. Reeve. I had a really nice chat with James Well, because and I said to James, I don't want the on-air bloke. I want you. I want to talk to you. And he doesn't like doing that. He doesn't like it being James Well. But I thought he did it for most of it. A nice chat with Ash, and then to round it off, a delicious conversation with Tony Blackburn. You know, real kind of geek. And it was all, there were no trick questions. There was no arch. It was just us celebrating the fact that radio existed. And, I knew that you'd like it, but I was in bed last night looking at some of the tweets. I couldn't listen because I can never listen to me. But I was looking at some of the tweets that were coming through, and me and Kath were both blown away by everyone who enjoyed it. So, you know, we're going to do another one at some point, I think, because that was such a joy.
It was absolutely delightful.
Thank you, man.
It really sort of took me back to a different place in my life where I'd always been a fan of radio, but I'd never brought in to a character. And if you like, I suppose today we'd call it a brand, wouldn't we? But I really brought into Caesar. I really brought into what he did, to what he did on air, the wind-ups. He also did a lot of quite challenging stuff too.
Oh, he was great. He was great. Yeah, it wasn't a one-trick pony.
He had a huge range, and he could deal with people on so many different levels, and he made it look easy. Now, I know what you do isn't easy. I don't do it, but I know what you do isn't easy. Yeah? It's trying to explain it to somebody who can't do it is very, very difficult indeed. But he managed to get that across. As do you sometimes, as do some of the others.
I just thought it was absolutely great, and I did listen. I listened to about 2 minutes of Caesar, then I switched off. But I just thought it was really nice hearing Caesar and Mike Mendoza on Talk again. It's not a setup. Hey, they're coming back. They're probably not. I'm sure they both would if they were offered the gig. I don't know what the history is. But it was just nice having them. It was just nice hearing their voices again on the radio. You know, it was a thrill for me.
Couldn't agree more. As I say, so I could tell by the way you were interviewing and the kind of questions that you were asking, you were asking the kind of questions I wanted to know the answers to.
Oh, it was a proper geeky chat,
as a fan.
Yeah.
There is one thing I really, as somebody who sort of works in the industry now and sort of has been around for a good few years, I just like some informed opinion on.
Yes.
So many...
Come to the right place. We are the home of informed opinion. No, we're the home of free speech. No, we're the home of something.
Yeah, the home of... You weren't used to be the home of free talk, but anyway, moving on.
Well, we are kind of free now. 03444991000. It's not, I know it's not a free phone number, but with most packages, it don't cost nothing.
No, it's costing me not a bean, and to be honest with you, it is just a complete delight to be here. The reason what I was going to ask you was, so many of these, if you like, iconic or headline acts at a station, they say like all political careers end in failure, but in these particular cases, they don't seem to end in failure, but they seem to leave a cloud.
Yeah.
A cloud of why? Because when Caesar went off the air at Invicta, he just dropped off the air. Ian Collins, who's now over at LBC, got his gig.
Yeah.
Ian Collins was working with him at the time. He's one of his characters. And Ian went on the air and took 2 weeks of a dog's abuse.
Yeah.
Like, for why Caesar wasn't on the air. But he was obviously towing a company line, and he was trying to get through that so he could start building his own show. And, he did brilliantly at that.
Yeah.
But
what's your question, caller?
Well, my question is, what happened with Mr. Ryder? Do you know?
I don't know. I know there was some criminal thing that happened. He said he was innocent. But beyond that, I don't know. And also, I don't care. I don't care. I could have asked him about that. And I could have asked any of them about the comings and goings. But that wasn't what it was about. I didn't want to do a. So then, why didn't you tell me what? I didn't care about that. I just wanted to embrace them and thank them and enjoy, the good stuff.
No, and you did that remarkably well, and I'm not criticising one element of any of the pieces that you did.
You're just curious.
Like he said last night, but I was innocent.
Yeah.
Well, today, as I say, remember what I said at the start.
Yeah.
I really brought into this brand. I really brought into this guy.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, not thought about it for a number of years.
Yeah.
And it really today was on a bit of a mission, trying to dig out, some facts around it.
Just leave it. Let it be whatever it is you want it to be. Because I don't know the ins and outs. I don't even really want to talk about it because it's nothing to do with me.
I'm certainly not going to talk about. As I say, today I found out precious little. But even if I did, I have enough respect for you, enough respect for myself, and enough respect for Mr. Ryder not to discuss his public affairs.
Yeah.
While he's not here, like third seat to defend himself. I'm more talking about the general thing, whereas, say, Mr. Ryder had his issues, Kenny Everett, again, a genius who came up in your conversation.
See what I get up to in my spare time, man. Hey, Amy, listen, I'm going to move on, and because the system here is screwed, so there's no polite way of doing it. I'm just going to cut you off. Don't take it the wrong way, I just have to. 0344 499 1000. CJ's unhappy. At least when Jake's on the radio, he perceived my mentioning of Jake as a dig, which of course it wasn't.
No.
But see, at least when Jake's on the radio, he treats people with kindness, humour, respect, love, and peace.
Oh, chill out, man.
Talk radio needs more of him, to be honest, and less of this hole of negativity this show has become. I used to like you. Hell, even looked up to you. Sad how things have gone. In your opinion, CJ, sad how things have gone in your opinion. Where was the negativity in last night's show, buddy? Where was the negativity? It was a 3-hour love letter to radio. Where's the negativity this evening? What are you talking about? Here's the thing. Here's the thing that people don't like. When I was on strike, I had a revelation. I had a real revelation. The being nice and celebratory is the main theme of the show, and it always has been, and I think it always will be, because it would be so easy to do one of those shows. Someone there mentioned Ian Collins, who's a brilliant broadcaster. He's got a new book out, and I had a chance to listen to him a bit last week. It was Brexit and Muslims. It was Brexit and Muslims and pointing the finger and all of this. Kath and I have made this conscious decision not to do the pointing the finger. Okay. But when I was on strike, it dawned on me that 3 hours of being wonderful and being lovely and being light, and even if callers were rude, being nice with them, even if callers were stupid and making stupid, ill thought out points, being, well, I'm so glad you've called in. It dawned on me that that's not what I wanted to do. It's not what I wanted to do as a broadcaster, and it's certainly not what I would want to listen to as a listener. If someone phones up and is obnoxious, or if someone phones up and says something stupid, I'm going to call them out. And that's a decision I made during the strike. And it took a little while for me to kind of introduce it. Hey! Thanks, son! Oh, that's cheered me up. I've lost my thread now, youngest. Thank you very much indeed. He's going to say it again in a second. Let me switch it off. If people phone up and they're talking out of their backside, I'm going to say, I think you're talking out your backside. The show is still celebratory. The show is still love and peace. But it's also a lot more light and shade. It's a lot more grown up than it was. When was the strike? That was March, wasn't it? God, it's only 6-7 weeks ago. It's a lot more grown up than it was 8 weeks ago. It's called evolution. It's an evolution. And the show that I'm doing now is different from how it was 2 months ago, which is different from how it was at Christmas, which is different from how it was when it started.
Can I also make a suggestion?
Well?
There is very little more negative than listening to something that makes you miserable and then deciding to go out of your way to send a message to be negative to someone that you don't know.
Well, I'm
just saying.
I know.
So
but
you don't have to do that to yourself or anyone else.
I know. I'm cool with that, and I know that there's a little corner where people, get together and they slag me off and they slag the show off, and they used to like the show and now they don't like the show and now they like another show better, and that's fine, man. That's absolutely fine. We all go through our phases and we go through our things, and we find people that speak to us more than others, and that's absolutely fine. But this is the way the show is going. I disagree really, really strongly with your summary of the show. Disagree really, really strongly with it. In fact, you're wrong. No, you're wrong on this. I think the show is better for the decision that I made. And I spoke to Kath about it. It wasn't just I came in one day. I kind of phoned her up and said, look, I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable about the way the show's going. How about if we try a bit more of this and a little bit less of this? And she went, yeah, okay, fine, we'll give it a go. So I'm really happy with the way the show is going. I'd put 50 quid that the figures are gonna back that up as well. I've got no evidence to back that up, but we've got figures coming out, I guess, this month. I'd put 50 quid that they're going and that they're showing an improvement. But, you keep listening, and that's absolutely fine, and I'm sorry I'm not Jake Yapp. I wish I had his talent. He is absolutely brilliant at what he does. I don't know why you're trying to drive a wedge between me and Jake. I mean, he's not a particularly good mate of mine, but he's a mate, and I know him, and I think he's brilliant, and I love what he does on this station. I love what he does on Radio 4. Man alive, I love the stuff he does on Radio 4. So, don't try and put a wedge there, buddy, because that ain't happening. 0344 499 1000, late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000, late nights with Iain Lee. It's a gentle stroll through the radio. Catherine is very kindly sitting in the studio with me. CJ, listen, I'm going to read, this is the final thing I'm going to read, and then it's a phone-in show, man. As you know, so I've indulged you twice. It's a phone-in show. We've not once slagged you off in our group. In fact, we promote your show on a regular basis because you're a part of the Talk Radio family, and our tearaway group was set up so we could speak openly about things without, mention someone's name, blocking us or kicking us out. We have arguments, we have fallouts, and at the end of the day, we shake hands. I've got no idea what that's got to do with me, buddy. It's a phone-in show, CJ. I mean, there's that sense of entitlement. It's a really interesting phenomenon I've noticed recently. The sense of entitlement. And it's partly my fault. Okay, it's partly my fault because I have made myself too open and too accessible to people. In that I used to reply to all my emails, and I used to reply to most of my tweets, and I even had, for a while, Facebook. You could send me a private message on Facebook, and I stopped that, thank God. And I very rarely do and I've kind of taken a step back, because there's a real sense of, and let's put CJ's email to one side and not speak specifically about that, but there's a real sense of entitlement where people think if they send me a tweet and I don't reply to it, well, then up yours, Iain Lee. How dare you've changed, Lee? You've changed. You're not replying to my thing. How arrogant of you. Sorry? Well, it's my choice whether I reply to... I tend not to reply to emails now, to ian@iainlee.com. I just don't do it, which is kind of bad. No, it's not bad, actually. It's not bad. I don't owe anyone a reply. I am a novelty in that for 15 hours a week, you know my telephone number. You know my name, look up the number. So you can phone up and say anything.
Can we just lay something on the line now? From now on, if ever we're talking about stuff on Twitter, it's only general. We're not talking about any one group or anything like that. We were just talking about the internet, but I'm glad to know that you've got a group and you're having fun on it.
And that is great, and that is brilliant. And I hope you're having fun. I've got groups on Facebook for the Monkees, and they're a lot of fun. We've got more than 40 members, but they're a lot of fun, and I don't care about intergroup fighting, because I'm not a 15-year-old schoolgirl. I'm a 43-year-old dad who's had a really lousy week, feeling rough as arses. That's what I've been feeling. So, I don't care. But thank you. Andy!
Hello.
Hello, Andy.
I've just been catching up with some sitcoms. I was wondering
what does that sentence mean? I've just been catching up with some sitcoms?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I don't know what that means.
Sitcoms, off the telly.
Do you know what sitcom is short for?
Situation comedy.
Yes. I don't know what the phrase catching up with some situation comedies mean. You've just been watching some?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Go on, what have you been watching?
Well, there's two American ones, like Seinfeld and Home Improvement.
Seinfeld's good.
Home Improvement.
I
used to like that.
It's a little bit... I used to like the neighbour in Home Improvement.
Oh, Wilson.
Yeah.
I used to like... What's the name of the guy in Home Improvement?
Tim Allen.
Yeah, I used to like him because
the character or the actor?
The actor, Tim Allen, because he's been in prison, hasn't he, for cocaine.
Really?
Oh boy. You know that guy has been absolutely crazy. I love the idea of that. I
didn't know that.
I don't think it's very funny, though.
You don't?
No.
Oh, it's worth a watch now and again.
Well,
what's your favourite bit, Andy?
Well, the pilot one, really. Just when the pilot one.
You asked.
What's the pilot one?
Don't. He means the first episode.
I know what you mean.
But don't ask.
I don't remember it.
I've been watching some Larry Sanders.
Right.
Conversation's going well. I tell you what I've been watching, right? I couldn't watch any telly last week. But then maybe Sunday, got terrible indigestion. Jesus. Sunday, I could go and sit downstairs for a bit and watch a bit of telly. Couldn't be around the kids for too long because I loved them, but I was just getting exhausted. But so I was watching a bit of TV. And I started watching Better Call Saul, the Breaking Bad.
Oh, I haven't seen any of that.
Prequel. Right, here's the thing, right? It's got two of my favourite actors in it. It's got Bob Odenkirk in it, who's brilliant, and it's got Michael McKean in it, who was in Spinal Tap, and they're both so watchable, these men. They're so watchable. And the show looks great, but I'm now at the end of season 2, and I'm watching it thinking, nothing's happening. I don't... I'm watching it, and each episode is like it looks very pretty, but then when you eat it, it just dissolves in your mouth, and it's completely unsatisfying. And that's what I'm finding with Better Call Saul. It's pointless.
Right. I haven't seen any of them, so...
Okay,
want to watch Home Improvement instead? There's always a story.
No, I don't want to watch Home Improvement. I don't want to watch it.
I do like Bottom with...
No, I never like that.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was one of his better what he did.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that call, Andy.
Thank you.
Took us absolutely nowhere.
Bit like Better Call Saul, apparently.
Well, I'm watching. Cleo, I'll come to you after the break. 0344 499 1000. I'm watching it, and I've watched a load of them. I was alternating between Better Call Saul and When Louis Theroux Met.
Oh, right.
Just because I wasn't... I was watching When Louis Theroux Met, and I'm thinking, this isn't very good. 2001, 2002. The Hamiltons, Anne Widdecombe. Mm-hmm. The best one was Keith Harris. And I thought this would be rubbish, but I was watching the Keith Harris thing, and I started crying because for some reason, I always thought Keith Harris was a tosser. I don't know why. I just had that image in my head. And of course, he passed away a couple of years ago, and I was watching, I started crying. A, because I was very emotional. But B, I was watching it thinking, what a nice man. And you could tell there was obvious affection between Louis and Keith. They both had affection for each other. And I just thought, what a lovely man. And it's sad. He's got 2 little kiddies.
I really enjoyed those documentaries the first time round, but I wonder whether we're too used to this shtick.
They're not dated very well. Not dated very well at all, I don't think.
Doesn't the 90s look a lot like the 80s now?
Well, this was the 2001s.
Doesn't the 2001s look a lot like the 80s now?
Yeah. See, I didn't think Louis Theroux's Scientology documentary was any good either.
Maybe more of a Broomfield man.
Maybe. Maybe I need a little bit of Nick Broomfield in my life. But Better Call Saul, I mean, it looks great. And they say those 2 actors, Odenkirk and McKeon, are just... I mean, that's what I'm watching them for, is their masterful performances. But it's suffering from the Mad Men's. I remember getting halfway through season 2 of Mad Men and going, nothing's happening.
Yeah, when you were talking about that description of it looks great, but actually there's nothing going on, the Mad Men exactly what
we
came
shall
to mind.
continue this thought process after this.
Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. We got Cleo, we got Gatford, and we may have you after this.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
We were going to play a song there, but I'm sorry. The Eagles are suing. What are they suing? Witchy woman.
Hotel California.
They're suing the Hotel California. Wowzers. That's absolutely. That's insane, but wonderful and beautiful at the same time. I wish everybody really, really best of luck in that case. I'm going to follow that with bated breath.
The Eagles.
And if that's successful, they're going to be suing anybody they catch taking it easy. Oh God! I love that story as well. They want to wipe all of the athletics records before 2005.
Right, we don't know which ones of you were cheating, so let's assume everyone was.
So they're going to start again at 2000. I think.
Incredible.
Here's the thing, right? But if you had the world record and it was established in say 1990 for something, I don't know what it would be, then that person is probably still alive. They should just be made to do the race again, and they can do best of 3, and the best time they get, that's the new starting time.
So what, we have a day of fast running races for old runners.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it could work.
They should surely every year they should, right, at the every Olympics and Commonwealth Games and all of that, Manchester and stuff, they should just write the best scores on a whiteboard, and then January the 1st next year they wipe that off and they start again. That's what they should do.
Gosh. And then everyone should get a badge just for running.
We're all winners here, guys. Hey, I read there was a brilliant. This is not Howard Hughes bullshine. This is science. Mm-hmm. And I was going to try it out last week, but I was too ill. Right? This is incredible.
Is this real, or is this something that you hallucinated?
No, this is real.
Okay.
This is real.
Go on.
Scientists, right, have done a study where they cut people. Right, they
cut or cup?
Cut.
Not cup.
You cut the person. So they cut the person and make a hole in them, right? And they split them into 2 groups to see which group heals the fastest. Oh. And this is proven. You've got a computer in front of you. I'm going to allow you to use it, right? People that did nothing, 2 groups. One group did nothing. one group had to write about a traumatic experience in their life. The people, this is true, the people that wrote about the traumatic experience in their life, their cut healed significantly faster than those who did nothing.
Oh, really?
Isn't that incredible? So have you found it on your computer?
No, I found all sorts. Tetris shown to lessen PTSD and flashbacks.
I'm not talking about Tetris.
Can eye movements treat trauma? Sleep helps process traumatic experiences.
Honestly, did anyone else hear this? 0344 499 1000. I heard it on Radio 4 twice. I think it was on the PM programme, and then it was also on More or Less, I think, which is where they look at stat. Or maybe it was on the site. Anyway, it's true.
Expressive writing may help lead to faster recovery from injury. The Scientific American.
This is absolutely incredible. And Howard Hughes had some bloke on the other day talking about invisible armies. Why can't we see them from this planet? Oh, they've got a cloaking device. Oh, Jesus.
Of course they have. Of course they have.
Geez, come on, man.
That's totally legit.
And he should have this on. This is absolutely amazing.
This is researchers in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. It's still valid.
Oh, I don't know. Investigated whether expressive writing could help older adults heal faster after a medically necessary biopsy.
Yeah.
In the study, 49 healthy adults aged 64 to 97 wrote about either upsetting events or daily activities for 20 minutes, 3 days in a row. After a time lag of 2 weeks to make sure any initial negative feelings stirred up by recalling upsetting events had passed, all the subjects had a biopsy.
Now try and do it in an interesting voice.
Blah, 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 blah. 76% of the group that did expressive writing had fully healed, as compared to 42% of the control group.
Isn't that?
That's amazeballs, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And I thought, I was so ill last week, I thought I'm going to try that, and then I couldn't remember where I put my computer.
Oh.
So I didn't.
Or a crayon.
I can't write with my hands. I can't.
I've seen your writing, it's interesting.
It is, well...
You're a capitals man, aren't you?
It would make excellent ransom note. Excellent ransom note. I can't do the... But everything is capitals. Everything is capitals. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Oh, I tell you, let's take this call. Then I had a question. When can we not talk about the election? Is it tomorrow?
Oh, now.
Now, okay. I've got a really good question for June the 9th.
I can't wait.
It's a really good question for June the 9th.
Don't build it up.
No, it is a really good question.
Oh, is it?
Oh, but it'll be too late then. But I'd remind me for the next general election.
All right, cool.
Okay, it's a good one. It's a really good one, and I've got stats to back it up and everything. But moving to one side. Gatford.
Hi, boss.
Yes, boss.
Good to hear you back.
Yep.
Yeah. Feeling more like yourself?
Nope, not at all. Completely out of it.
Yeah. I took some of your advice on the Twitter, and I watched the Oklahoma City bombing documentary.
Oh, it's a good film, that, isn't it?
That's good. Did you know that your mate John Ronson did one about it?
Yes.
It's just as good.
Yes.
Not as long, not as detailed.
I can stop you. Yes, I knew. I've seen it, yes.
Okay, good. Right, well, that goes a couple of minutes of conversation.
Okay. Honestly, I don't need filler. I need killer.
You need killer. Fine. Did you earlier say that one of the Three Stooges killed JFK?
I'm going to cut you off now because you're being a knob. Let's try Cleo. Good evening, Cleo.
Hello, mate. Just thank you for yesterday. It was mint.
Hey, have you got even more Geordie?
No.
No, you sound like you're Geordie squared.
No, I'm just being mean to use yourself.
He's mint. Gadge, what are you talking about?
Totally mint. I don't dare to speak.
It takes every time you tweet me, it takes me about 5 minutes to work out whether you're having a go at me or saying something nice. Because honestly, I have to cross-reference all the words. I have to go to various different dictionaries. It's outrageous.
It's like that when people speak to Geordies. Do you know,
why would they do that?
What's the guy called with the thick neck? Famous guy. Oh, he was in a punk band in the...
Bad Manners.
American punk band. Henry Rollins.
Oh, Jesus. Yes.
And he did a spoken word in...
Which words?
Yeah. He did a spoken word thing in Newcastle City Hall in the sort of noughties, early noughties, late 90s.
Yes.
And he was just saying he hates Geordies because even when you're being nice, it sounds like you're shouting at us. And, like, I think it's just a weird, aggressive sounding accent.
I think it's quite poetic.
I have lost
Yeah.
all track. Am I tripping again? Is it kicking in? Because I don't no idea what this guy's talking about.
I'm understanding every word.
Okie dokie. Well, you're an interloper.
Why, she's a Geordie, Catherine at heart, I think, really.
Yeah. Okay.
But I thought you're on about the evolution of your own evolution earlier, and the evolution of talk radio and stuff. And it was just hearing last night's interviewees sort of...
Hang on a second, Cleo. Just hearing last night's interviewees, you've been talking about the evolution of radio.
Okay.
Hearing last night's interviewees. Sorry, carry on.
Okay.
Yeah, hearing last night's interviewees recalling people and being so positive, and it felt like a strange... there was a big sense of unity between people who a lot of the time might not have even met each other, you know what I mean? Because when you're on this side of the radio...
Here we go. I'm back in the room. Yes.
When you're on this side...
You enjoyed last night's show?
It was amazing.
Because you pick up on the connection that one can only get from radio, and not everybody is lucky enough to get that connection, and not everyone gets it all the time. But now and then there will be moments in your life where you will look back, and the most important friend in that part of your life was radio.
I quite literally couldn't have said it better.
There we go. Thank you very much indeed. You see, that's my job. That's my job.
I thought we'd lost you there for a minute.
No. It was, let's go to Ian.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing, okay?
Not really.
Oh, no. You have the tonsillitis. It's killer, isn't it? It's horrible.
Yeah.
It was about last night's show.
Yeah.
I've only heard one of the calls so far. I only had the call from Chris Ryan, Caesar the Geezer.
Caesar the Geezer, yeah.
Because I used to listen to him back in the original Talk Radio when I was up and running, before it became Talk Sport, and I went football mad.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you guys were talking about last night was the fact that radio today is so dull and predictable in the UK. In the sense that everybody's doing exactly the same thing, other than like to Talk Radio.
Yeah.
And
just to save time for both of us, when you get to a rhetorical question, I'm not going to say yeah. Just assume I'm saying yeah and steam on.
Sorry, mate. Yeah,
that's okay.
Okay, it's a shame though, because nobody seems to be wanting to be taking a risk anymore, and everybody, the fact that all these stations now are all owned by one group and whatever, which it kind of like destroys the medium. I mean, you go back to like the 90s where you did have all these like different, like various different stations and personalities and whatever. It was a really, really good medium to listen to. Don't get me wrong, talk radio is great, but it's kind of like out there on its own at the moment, isn't it?
I'm going to come into the conversation now. Yes, but radio stations are doing better than they were doing in the 90s by quite some way.
Right, so yeah, probably because there's more ways of being able to listen to them, I suppose, isn't there?
Well, I don't know, but listen, LBC now is doing infinitely better than it was doing in the 90s. Now, it's not particularly what I want to listen to, but obviously someone wants to listen to it. So the argument is, do you go for the lowest common denominator, the people who like to point the finger and yell, look at them, and get yourself a big audience, or do you like to do you go for the niche, airy-fairy, look at my chakras, esoteric nonsense like this that people really, really love, but it's not many people really, really love?
Right, yeah.
You're running a business. Which one are you going to go for?
You got to go for the one that makes you most money, aren't you?
Yeah, cool, yeah. Unfortunately, and that's the nature of it, and that's the nature of it, sadly.
But when everybody's doing the same thing, then more and more people, you would think, would then go for something different.
But not everyone's doing the same thing.
Well, when it comes to music radio, yeah.
Well, okay, music radio is different. I don't really listen to music radio apart from Six and a bit of Virgin. I like listening to Virgin. I like listening to Virgin Radio, particularly on Saturday afternoons. Coming soon.
Oh, right, okay. Who's on that?
Don't know.
Oh, right, okay. Right, I shall give that a listen then.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't say.
Oh, right, okay. Something new.
I didn't say anything. Well, I'm glad we've cleared that up.
Right, going back to your tonsillitis.
Yes.
A friend of mine had it once, and he had to have his tonsils removed.
Yeah.
And when he was on the operating table, he turned the sabre around and made a mistake.
Hey, thank you very much indeed. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Now expect to get a load of calls back saying, why did you cut me off? Paul, stay there. Come to you after this.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
What are fidget spinners, guys? I know I could Google it. Google doesn't exist in this world, but I follow lots of Americans, and fidget spinners seem to be the thing of the day. I know someone who'll know. Yes, Paul.
Hi, how you doing?
Fidget spinners.
That's just a great English word. It'd be a good Scrabble word, wouldn't it? It's not really a Scrabble word. Is it in the dictionary?
Well, it's 2 words.
Yeah, it would be good though.
What are they?
Fidget spinners.
Yeah.
Do you know the actual meaning of it, or are you just?
No, it's a thing. I've seen it pop up in my timeline because I follow a couple of Americans, and one of them.
Timeline what on your Twitter? You mean?
Yeah, that's the fella.
Okay, I don't use Twitter, but anyway.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, again, it could be what I think off the top of my head is it could be like a thing for a TV kids show.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Like the Wombles or the Flumps, or... Do you know the other day Boris Johnson used mugwumps?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Mugwumps, of course, were a not particularly famous group in America in the 1960s, which featured one of the Lovin' Spoonful and Mama Cass. I
thought mugwumps originally came out of Lord of the Rings by Tolkien or something.
Broke, busted, disgusted, agents can't be trusted, and I'm gonna go to the sea. Cash can't make it, Tez will have to fake it, news come eventually. And, there's a line in that song by the Mamas and Papas about the mugwumps.
Yeah, all right.
Mugwumps, high bumps, low bumps, some have to get it out someday. Hang on a minute.
Oh, you found it?
I'm going to find it. Hang on. Mamas, Papas.
Your memory's crazier than mine.
Creek Alley. It's mugwumps, side bumps. Here we go. Listen to this. Here we go. Oh, that's an advert.
Do you want to trade on the global
we're not paying to advertise on my radio station. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Just listen to the Mamas and Papas, Kath. Here we go.
People always ask us how we got together, and we sort of got tired of answering that question because everybody does ask us. Squeak. Little Topo was in there.
Mugwumps, because she was in a group called the Mugwumps.
Yeah. Poem of historical nature describing our very get-together, and so we like to sing it.
Can I speak over this quickly?
No, you can wait.
Okay.
Manners.
Sorry, bad
manners. Joan and Mitchie were getting kind of bitchy just to leave the folk music behind. Saul and Denny working for a penny, trying to catch a fish on the line. In the coffee house, Sebastian sat at the Night Owl, and after every number they passed the hat. McGuinn and McGuire, sister catching fire in L.A., you know where that's at. And everyone's getting fat except Mama Cass. He hates her. Then you know there are many who can sing a song the way that you do. Let's go now. I could play guitar like you. There you go. No. After every number they pass the hat. McGuinn and McGuire still are getting higher in L.A., you know where that's at. Here we go, here it comes. And everyone's getting fat. It's a great song, isn't it? What other bands have done... Here we go, shush. No. What other bands have done songs about themselves?
Hello with the Monkees.
Oh, yeah.
Can I speak now?
No, you can't, no. Here it comes. Who else? Oh.
Here it is.
Okay. Did the Dave Clark 5 catch you? See if you can. They don't say we're the Dave Clark 5 though, do they?
Are you talking about bands or songs that have their own name in them?
Yeah.
What about the theme tune to the Addams Family?
Right.
They're not a band, mate.
Straight off the top of my head.
Yeah, straight off the top of your head. They are not a band.
Okay, well, it goes back to blues, I think, the original blues players.
Right. The Addams Family?
No, where people name themselves in a... I think it goes back to original...
Can I play you something?
He's recycling some Danny Kelly knowledge there.
Yeah, well, Danny Kelly and I were speaking about it the other night.
Can I play you something that is quite funny? Okay, so this is someone's done the entire Star Wars story to the tune of Sgt. Pepper's. Now, I've only got halfway through the first song, but it's quite entertaining.
It was many years ago today, in a galaxy so far away.
It's quite cute.
It's a period of civil war. They don't want the Empire anymore. The rebels made a daring move. They got some data in their hands. Princess Leia stole a Death Star plan. The Princess Leia stolen Death Star plans. She's got them and it's time to go.
Where is Chewbacca kicking?
Hang on.
Princess Leia stolen Death Star plans. The Empire doesn't even know. Princess Leia stolen. Princess Leia stolen. Princess Leia stolen Death Star plans. We're running from the Empire. It's us they want to kill. A Star Destroyer's chasing us. We've got to get away from them. We've got to make it home. This is Spanish Matters 3PO. But we're cut, there's nowhere else to go. If I put the plans aside or two, then there's nothing more that I can do.
It's actually brilliant.
He's gotta go find Obi-Wan. He's carrying the contraband. Princess Leia stolen Death Star plans. Yeah.
What would you think if I boarded your ship? Would you give those transmissions to me? How can this be a real consular ship? No ambassador that I can see. Oh, you're all spies with illicit help from...
And on it goes.
Hey,
Yeah, no,
a nice try with illicit help.
It's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. I made me chuckle earlier on today. That's as far as I got, because then I got bored of it. Yes, Paul, what did you call in for?
Oh, God, my ribs are hurting. The original reason I called in was you spoke about earlier.
I did what?
You spoke about earlier Laurel and Hardy.
Yes.
You were sitting there stoned during your whatever.
Don't do drugs, though, kids. Don't do drugs.
No. But it's in my past, believe me. But I remember you saying you were watching Laurel and Hardy stoned. Well, I thought I was the only one because I remember.
Can I just say I don't have to say for legal reasons. I don't think Laurel and Hardy were ever stoned.
No. I didn't mean that. What I'm gonna say is I remember when I used to smoke things like that, watching Harold Lloyd.
Hooray for Harold Lloyd!
Used to be on a Sunday, didn't
it? Harold Lloyd. A pair
And
of
he used to
glasses
do all his
and
own
a smile. Yeah, but his stunts aren't actually that impressive.
Oh, what about the one where he was hanging off the New York clock tower? He did that for real.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Oh, don't.
There's a thing on Twitter that shows you how all those old stunts were done. And have you seen these? There's a thing that reveals how all those old stunts were done. So yeah, he's hanging from a clock face, but what you don't see,
why have to ruin everything?
What you don't see is that he's nowhere near the edge of the building. He's about 2 foot up in the air. That's it.
Oh, you've ruined it for me now.
No, sorry, dude. This is the
You'll
way.
be telling me next that Batman and Robin didn't used to walk down the side of buildings and people used to
Oh,
open
no,
the window.
original that was brilliant, that was.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad we cleared that one up, Paul.
Okay, right.
Here we go. Here's the thing. I heard something about this the other day, and it rang a distant bell, but I don't remember. Doesn't Harold Lloyd have fake fingers?
What?
I am sure that at some point in his career he muffed up a stunt and chopped off 3 fingers.
You are totally correct now from my memory. Yes, Ian.
Thank you, Paul.
It was like an explosion thing, wasn't it?
He blew some of his fingers off.
Yeah, he did.
Thank you, Paul. Always good.
Do you know Tony Iommi, the guitarist from Black Sabbath?
Yep.
On his fingering hand on his guitar, he has no tips of his fingers because they got chopped off in a factory accident years before.
Here we go.
And that's how he invented the sound that Black Sabbath got, by using the power chords.
Yep.
Because he had no tips of his fingers.
Here we go. In one of the 60s Michael Caine gangster movies, I think it's Get Carter, right? There's a scene where he goes into a pub and he orders a drink. And you see a guy next to him, just an extra, just having a drink. Right? If you watch carefully, that guy's got 5 fingers.
Well, everyone's got 5 fingers.
No, they haven't, mate. Holding a pint. Holding a pint. There's an extra finger coming round the top.
He's got 6 fingers then.
There, he's got 5 fingers and a thumb.
Okay, do you know Liam Gallagher's got 6 toes on one foot?
Do you know that Gatford's got 4 toes on one foot?
Who has?
Exactly.
Oh, you made me think about Nutkins now.
Seriously, there's a Twitter thing. God, I'm starting to flag now, guys. I've not even started the show yet. There's a Twitter thing, and I don't follow it, but every now and then Danny Baker will retweet it. How classic stunts are done from like the silent films, and the one of the clock. It's something like it was shot through. There's like a picture of New York in the background that makes it look like he's above New York, but he's not. None of those stunts. Oh, his own stunts. Yeah, all right. Jackie Chan actually does do his own stunts, and he does them for real. That's all I'm saying. Jamie, stay there. Come to you in a bit. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Evening, Jamie.
Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Jamie.
Yeah, I have to apologise. I'm a little bit nervous, even though I've called in before.
That's okay. This, I'm not. I'm going to say I'm 72% on the ball. So let's see where we go.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for last night's show. As someone that came fairly late into talk-based radio, it was nice to hear kind of stories before I was listening to it, if that makes any sense.
It certainly does. You're a young soul, and that is to be applauded. Congratulations.
Yeah, and, I very much kind of relate to you. I graduated from university 5 years ago, and unfortunately hasn't got me anywhere. But
same as me. Similar vintage, similar career trajectory.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've about 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with autism. So, after leaving university, it completely changed the direction of where I was going.
Now, it's interesting. Why did it change the direction? Because I'm assuming that your behaviour was the same, unless they gave you techniques to correct that behaviour. I'm assuming your behaviour after the diagnosis was the same as it was before the diagnosis. So why did a doctor saying, well, we think you're autistic, why did that change the direction you were facing?
Well, I mean, I found I was going into interviews and things, and obviously I had some of the traits, and they just say, oh, no, you're not for us. Whereas after I was diagnosed, they were saying, well, actually, we're going to give you a chance.
Well,
because we understand
you can tick a box for us. What were you...
Yeah.
I'm teasing slightly.
That's what I thought.
What were you... were they ticking a box by... was it, oh, great, we've got one. And it's one that doesn't require a wheelchair, so that won't take too much extra work.
I tell you something, you would not believe how true that is.
No, do you know, I can believe it, and that's my tongue was slightly in my cheek when I said it, but as it came out, I thought, oh, perhaps there's more to this because people employers like to tick boxes and to say, well, yes, no, and this is our autistic employee, and it's great. You don't require wheelchairs, it's all of that kind of stuff. So you do. How did that make you feel?
Well, I mean, it was when I was diagnosed, it was like 1 million questions had been answered. Because I'd come from a special needs background. They didn't know what was the thing with me. Yeah. And I went through college and got distinctions and went through university and did all that. And then obviously as I started to go into work-based environments, it got a lot more serious, and my traits showed up more.
What are your traits, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, you're free to ask. I would say probably communication, although I'm coming across quite well because I've been doing kind of podcasting and radio broadcasting for the past 10 years.
Okay.
So I can speak. But, mainly my body language, if that makes sense. And also I don't like crowds and things like that. So it makes certain situations difficult.
Now, I don't like crowds.
Yeah.
Hate them. But what separates you not liking crowds from what puts your dislike of crowds into the autistic spectrum and my dislike of crowds just into being a grumpy old man, if you understand the question?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to answer honestly, to a point where I will go home and I'll start screaming or punching the wall. Wow. Literally, angst builds up.
Yeah. Wow.
I get very, very angry. And I mean, I mentioned, I've been doing broadcasting stuff for the past 10 years. I ran a community station for 2 years where I had to go and do interviews all the time. And I hated it. And I always tried to find volunteers, but never could. And ended up doing it all myself and kind of sacrificing my mental health, unfortunately. But drove myself to depression.
Well, I identify. I work with Catherine every day, and we have to do these things too. Cool. I can't remember why we got into this. Was there a reason to this? I'm finding it absolutely fascinating, by the way. I don't want to make the whole call, about you and your autism if you don't want it to.
Yeah. Well, as I say, you're free to ask whatever. I'm always very open about it. But no, I just wanted to say thank you for last night's show because, for me, as a talk-based broadcaster, it's nice to hear other people's opinions and how they got into it and kind of where the door starts, and I find that certainly in a lot of community circles, talk-based radio is very much frowned upon.
Oh, I think there's kind of there's a little bit of sneering towards it, and they are wrong because it is the finest. Jamie, I'm really glad you called, man. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank
you. Now Catherine is going to put out each interview that was recorded. There were 6 interviews as separate extended podcasts. How much extra footage might be in those podcasts?
Loads. The Caesar Geezer one's gone out today. Mike Mendoza's tomorrow. Okay. I think the Tony Blackburn was pretty much as we played it out.
Yep.
There's a lot more James Whale.
James Whale was a long out chat. That was great.
We could get rid of him, couldn't we?
Couldn't get rid of him. I'm really glad we had James H. Reeve on there because he would be the one that I think the least number of people would be aware of. But he's also, I'm going to say out of all of them, he's also my favourite. And the conversation with him was exactly like, it was like being on his radio show. That's exactly what his radio show was like. Very slow, very methodical, that reminds me, just going off on tangent, and then that will go to a tangent, then that will go to a tangent, then bring it back to the point he was on. It was brilliant.
The thing that struck me about him was that you asked him a question and he thought about every single one. And there was no... sometimes when you're speaking to someone who's very used to expressing themselves on the radio, they come up with answers like this. He thought about every single one, and you got the impression that he was speaking as things occurred to him. It was very natural.
And that's what his show was like. It was that pace.
It was his pace, and he was super confident.
Yeah. And you don't get shows that are that slow anymore. My friend Mackenzie did this brilliant series, The Detectorists, right? And the first time I saw it, I phoned him up. I said, "Oh, this is brilliant." He said, "What did you like about it?" I said, "It's so slow." I said, "It's so slow. There are minutes where nothing is said." And he said, "I'm so glad you picked up on that, because there's nothing like that in entertainment that's slow."
No, it's all served up for you, and everything's explained and tied up for you. Whereas I know what you mean about The Detectorists. It was just gentle, and it allowed you to make up the gaps.
Oh, and it was, and this is what James H. Reeves' show was like. Go and listen to some bits on YouTube, and you can find them somewhere. So slow, but brilliant. And quite often he wouldn't get any callers. I've heard him do shows where he had no callers, and it was 3 hours of that. The conversation we had minus me. 3 hours of that. Brilliant. Now, here's my thinking. If I were the bosses of this station, which I am not, I would, and the next time I was off, I'd say, right, okay, we've got, Ian's off for a week. We're going to have James H. Reeve on Monday. We'll have Mike Mendoza on Tuesday. We'll have Caesar the Geezer on Wednesday. And we'll have whoever Thursday, we'll approach Boyd and whatever.
Yeah. The All-Stars.
Yeah, and do that. And, or, you say, right, we'll have James H. Reeve for the week. Just take a punt, And I know that won't happen, and I've not spoken to the bosses about this. I'm not discussed this with them at all. But I get the idea that's not quite the way their heads are focused, and that is fine, because it is a business and it's their business, and I trust their opinion. They gave me this gig. But that's what I do. But again, it wouldn't be a massive ratings winner in 2017, I don't think. You say, well, you've got Caesar the Geezer back for it, because a lot of younger people go, who? It'd be interesting to hear if an act like Caesar's, for example, would work now, because part of me thinks it was very much of its time in the 90s, when people weren't as media savvy, and you could do a wind-up, like the moon's going to be closest it's ever been to the Earth today.
Yeah, no one could Google it.
No one could Google it. People, so I don't know, but anyway, that's what I'd do if I ran a radio station, but I don't. 0344 499 1000. Nigel, stay there. Come to you after this.
Late night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Yes, Nigel.
Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm great, thank you, Nigel. My ovaries are shrinking. Yes.
Last night's show, absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much indeed. It was
being a total radio geek myself. I just loved it. The only thing was, I don't know if you kind of cut it out on the edit, but when you had James on, I thought he might have talked more about the Radio Air days when he started out at Radio Air.
Kathy, I think he's asking if I want a cup of coffee. No, I don't want a cup of coffee. You did that? Is that the coffee sign?
You have to wait and see, Nigel. We're going to put the whole thing out.
That's not the coffee sign.
No.
Oh, Catherine.
We are going to put the whole thing out as a bonus pod, so you will get the whole
She's
serving.
Calling you coffee beans.
I'm not calling you coffee beans.
No, my mate worked at Radio Air at the same time as James.
Well, why don't you interview your mate and let us know how that goes?
She's in the industry anyway.
Well, okay. Well, you go and interview her, and then stick it up your bum. It's the I'm going to say the 30th anniversary of Wish You Were Here. The film with Roger Lloyd Pack's daughter in it,
Emily,
who goes, "Stick it up your bum,
up your bum,
up your bum, up your bum, up your bum."
I loved that film so much.
I remember enjoying it. I don't really remember it, but it was the 30th anniversary, and they were playing that clip on Radio 4 a lot. Up your bum, up your bum, up your bum. And then I started reading about her. Boy, oh boy, she had a life, didn't
definitely.
she? She's had a life. Wowzers.
Here's one for you.
Yes, Nigel.
Old TV show is getting a reboot.
Oh.
Do you remember Some Mothers Do Have Them?
No. What was that?
Frank Spencer.
Who?
Michael Crawford.
I remember, but Barnum.
No. Before Barnum, when he did Frank Spencer, Some Mothers Do Have Them. Massive BBC.
I don't remember
back
that.
in the 70s.
Maybe I was
when
too
he
young
used to do all his own stunts and everything like that.
Yeah, Barnum.
No, not Barnum. Some Mothers Do Have Them.
Do have what?
Frank Spencer when he did.
Some mothers do have Frank Spencer. I don't remember.
No,
that.
when he did this TV show, Some Mothers Do Have Them. That was the name of the show. Frank Spencer, and he was.
So who was that? The one where they had the posh neighbours and they were growing their own in the back garden.
No, that's The Good Life.
It's not the one with the black lads, because you can't show that anymore.
No. Anyway, it's getting a reboot, and ITV have commissioned it, and you will never guess who's taking the lead role.
Well, is Frank Spencer in it?
No, Paddy McGuinness has got the lead role in it.
In Barnum?
No, in Some Mothers Do Have Them.
Honestly, I know my TV pretty well. I have never heard of Your Mother's Gotta Have One.
No, Some Mothers don't mess.
Do you mean It Ain't Our Fault, Mum?
I know that one, yeah.
That's good.
You lovely lot.
Yeah.
Ooh. And so Paddy McGuinness is going to play...
You little man.
You lovely lot. You lovely boys.
Frank Spencer.
You lovely boys. You lovely lot.
No,
Windsor Davis. So Paddy McGuinness is Windsor Davis.
No, you're thinking of Ain't Our Hot.
Ain't It Our Fault, Mum?
It is.
There was a white lad blacked up in that.
Oh, right.
I don't have a problem with it.
But anyway, it's getting a reboot on ITV.
So who's playing Windsor Davis then?
No, not that show. You reminded me of hearing.
Miss Jones. He says he's the Prince of Africa, right, Miss Jones. Is that one?
Do you remember the adverts Leonard Rossiter used to do with
Joan Collins got a martini.
That's the one.
Yeah. Joan Collins got a martini.
Luton Airport.
Well, that's great, Nigel. Great memories of a show I have never heard of. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I didn't drive in tonight. I couldn't face driving in, so I got the train. And what I'm saying, Kath, is can I have a lift home, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Ed. Oh, Ed doesn't drive.
I'll get a taxi, don't worry, guys. I'll get a taxi. I feel very queer.
Do you want some milk?
You keep offering me milk as though...
Well, you said, right, that you... Back me up. You said that you had a bit of indigestion. Terrible indigestion.
Oh, it's not a bit. I'm barely alive.
Yeah, okay.
Dying.
Terminal indigestion.
Yeah.
And I said, drink some milk. And you looked at me like I'd suggested you drink paint thinner.
Well, why would I drink milk?
Well, it used to help me when I had heartburn when I was pregnant.
Milk has got to be ice cold. It's got to be ice cold for it to have any...
Well, I wasn't offering you warm milk. I was going to go in the fridge.
Oh, let's try this. I've not heard this. Let's just try this. Hang on a second. Let's see if this works. Taking this at random. This is taken at random. Let's see if this works.
Desert morning, they're out exploring, the day begins. Jawa sandcrawler looks pretty bad. Guess that the sand people got really mad. Ben says no, these blast points are too precise for their kind of raid. Plus they all travel in single file. This has imperial style. They were just looking for droids. Sacrifice Jawas for droids. This was the sandcrawler where we were. He's speeding home, racing back there alone with his nagging fears. Luke pulls up to the homestead, but he is not in time.
This is good.
He sees the bodies just lying there. Smoking and charred at the top of the stairs. He looks down, there's nothing to save here now that his family's gone. Stormtroopers took his whole life away. Now there's no reason to stay. They raised him all by themselves. His grieving ran the whole farm by themselves. They struggled all of their lives to get this smoking dome that he used to call home for so many years.
It's very good. It's very clever. But you do have to ask the question, though, why don't they just go and get a life? I'm watching
glad they
it.
didn't.
I do like those literal videos. Have you seen the literal videos?
No.
Have you not seen them? It's the ones where they sing. So you'll have Penny Lane. There's a great one for Daydream Believer. But they will sing to the tune. I think a lot of them were done by Robert Popper. But they will describe exactly what is happening. Oh, indulge me, dear listener. My voice is going. This will work, I think, on the radio. If you want to play along at home, we'll do Penny Lane. Although the Daydream Believer one is excellent. Literal version, I think. Some of these are done by Robert Popper. I bet they've taken it off. Hang on a minute. Where has that gone? All right, they've taken that one down. So let's have some are better than others. You've got to tread carefully. Let's try. Let's try carefully. Tell you what, we'll do it. I'll do it during the news because I want to find a good one because some of them are a bit ropey. Actually, let's just do the Monkees Daydream Believer one. This is just a joy. Hang on a second. Oh, hang on a minute. Where's my music?
Oh, I pretend to play piano. This room looks like a rainbow. I snapped my fingers too close to my eyes.
You've never seen these before?
No. I stand up and clap along. Then I snap and Peter yawns. It's hard to play a guitar through your tie. Freaky rainbow room. Mike said, oh, too soon. So he adjusts his glasses, then a close-up of me. I sing in Peter's ear, but he pretends not to hear. Mike's just goofing off and Peter's mad. And then I dance like Axl Rose in my fruity 60s clothes. Then I get bored and clap and snap instead. Now we're all singing close up of Mickey. Then I grab both my man boobs and I offer them to you. Pointing at his knee, hands through tambourine. But now I'm having convulsions and I look like I'm screaming. We're all acting dumb. Here comes Nicky's bum. It just ruins my close-up. Now we're all standing up. Now it's dancing time. Unrehearsed kick line. Then we wave to somebody and I
walk into a wall. It's good, isn't it? It's brilliant, isn't it? There's loads of them. The literal videos. It's a shame they've taken the Penny Lane one down, because it's all about them just riding horses, and it's so funny. It reminds me of, what are those videos where they take the music off?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I love those. The Dancing in the Street one with Jagger and Bowie.
What are they called?
They're musicless videos.
It's just them going...
You can hear their feet scratching on the floor and stuff.
It's all of that. And it's one of those things you watch it, you think, oh, this is such a simple idea, but how delicious.
That Jagger one's got
They're dancing in the street.
Yeah.
Oh. It's so funny that people, I mean, knocking the Star Wars people, I shouldn't at all. It's wonderful. This is one of the good things about the internet, is like stuff like that would never get on telly. But someone has a really good idea, like the literal videos or the Star Wars thing or the dancing in the street. And if it's a good idea, people will find it and it will become a thing. And they're so funny. There's another good one of those where they've taken the music out, the Ghostbusters video. And it's just really creepy. It's just a woman lying in bed. And then the duvet gets taken off. It's very creepy. Dear listener, another hour to go. My throat is just about holding up. My head, I'm not so sure. If you want to give us a call, 0344 499 1000. The way it works is you'll phone up, you'll speak to Ed. He will take your name and your details and will call you back and put you on air pretty much immediately. That's how it works here at the Giggle Factory. 0344 499 1000. What have we talked about so far? Oh, I've got to tell you about as well, I scared the boys with Doctor Who. Finally got them into Doctor Who, and I've been told not to show it to them anymore.
Excellent. That's another one off the dad list.
Yeah, I know, exactly. We'll talk about that in a bit. I got into... I've hardly seen the boys. I've hardly seen the boys this last 10 days, the week or so, because obviously I don't want to give them this. So I'd be in bed, and every now and then I'd just get a knock on the door, and then this door would open, the little face would peek through. Daddy, are you better yet? No, Daddy's not better. The door would just shut, and you'd hear them run off into their world again.
Oh, they miss you.
Well, you know, I had... at the moment, I can stand about 10 minutes of them. Not because they annoy me, but I just find their energy is so draining. It's the weirdest thing. I felt old this week, and I was trying to explain this to you earlier on. I felt old. I got the tube in because I couldn't have driven in. I haven't driven since last week, and I thought of getting behind a car, and oh no. So I got the taxi to the train, and I got the train in, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get a taxi from Waterloo to here. I thought, I'll walk. I know a little back route, and I'll walk. It'll be quite good for me. But I was shuffling along like a 70-year-old, honestly. And there was an old woman with a shopping trolley overtook me by quite something, and I'm just shuffling, and I had a hat on and my sunglasses on because my eyes are really sensitive to light and all this stuff. And I thought, geez, this is what it must feel like to be old, to be properly old. I don't like it. Fun, isn't it? And I'm aware, guys, it's only tonsillitis, but flipping heck, it's enough knock it out of you. I mean, really, the closest thing I've had was when I had glandular fever when I was 17, and I couldn't go to school for college for 3 months. It was a terrible state. Anyway, dear listener, with that in mind, feel free to give us a call. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Take a far-out trip into the twilight zone of late night radio with Iain
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So, 0344 499 1000. So I started the boys on Doctor Who because they always want to watch horrid Henry, and I think,
that kid, I hate him.
I think it's I don't like him, and B, I just think it's a bit rubbish. Actually, I think it's a bit rubbish. But I don't want to be one of those parents. Well, you can't watch that because I think it's rubbish. They like it, and that's cool, and it's within my parameters of what's acceptable. But I said, let's try and find something a bit different. So Doctor Who came up on the screen. Oh, well, can we try that? I was like, all right. And I thought, what we'll do is we will start with Tennant. We'd start with Tennant. So we start with the very first episode of David Tennant. And it was all confused because he just regenerated. And and they were going, who's that? Who's that? Why is he being weird? I went, all right, stop. We're going to go back to Eccleston. We're going to start with Eccleston as year zero. We're going to call that year zero. They're going, so who? They're going, it's the Doctor Who. Doctor Who is different actors, but this is Doctor Who. So we watched a couple of episodes. The first one is, here's something for you sci-fi fans. The first one is a rip-off of the classic John Pertwee story from 1972, Spearhead from Space, where loads of shop dummies come alive. And so the boys were watching this, and my eldest was watching it with a blanket around his head, and he's terrified. Beautiful. And I couldn't cuddle them because I didn't want to infect them with my fleas. And so we watched that, and then we watched the second one where they go up to space and they watch the Earth being destroyed or something. And then the next day I kind of got summoned by my wife. She said, no more Doctor Who for the boys. I went, sorry? Yeah, they've had nightmares, so I think we'll knock that on the head. I went, well okay, right. And what it was is, it turns out they hadn't had nightmares, right? In the first one, the shop dummies come alive. And it's quite a scary image. Shop dummies break through windows and try and kill people. And then there's a bit where there's just an arm, and it's strangling Doctor Who, and he's doing the classic,
He's holding the elbow out of shot.
And I said to my eldest, he said, well, I didn't have a nightmare. But when I'm in bed and I close my eyes, I'm worried that an arm is going to crawl out from under the bed and he's going to strangle me. Now, of course, you've got to take it seriously because he's scared, but you've got to, be realistic. I said, well, I used to have nightmares when I used to watch Doctor Who. And I was going, yeah, but it wasn't as scary then. I said, no, it was. It was scary in a different way. But so there's nothing to be scared of, and it's all actors, and and I showed them how he did it with the arm, and I was doing it with bits we had around the house, going, so it's acting, none of it's real. And he said, yeah, I get that, but it just scared me, and I don't want to watch it anymore. And then my youngest goes, I want to watch another one. He's going, are you sure? Because he's nuts, the youngest. Are you sure? He said, yeah, I want to watch another one. I was like, oh, man.
Daredevil.
Okay, but I don't. So we're going to watch some more. But I don't have a massive problem with them being scared by Doctor Who.
If it's not Doctor Who, it'll be something else. Kids have always had.
If it's not Doctor Who, it'll be I Spit on Your Grave or The Exorcist. Those two are next on the list.
It took me a long time to relax in the bath after Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, Dennis.
Good evening.
Good evening, Dennis.
Back with a living, are you?
Just about. I'm regretting coming in tonight. I'm feeling a little bit ropey, but I'm going to make it to the end of the show, and I'm going to get a cab home.
Now, I just want to warn you, don't pull this illness business when it comes to the end of May, please.
Sorry? What on earth are you talking about?
End of May.
Yes.
You owe me 30 quid, so I'm not accepting illnesses as an excuse not to pay it.
But, mate, and I won't be accepting illness as an excuse for you not to pay me. You'll be dead.
I will not be dead, dear boy.
You will not make it till your 92nd?
For youngsters worrying about things coming from under the bed. When I read Hamlet, Shakespeare's Hamlet,
yes,
and apparently somebody poured poison into his father's ear, killed him. For years, as a kid, I made sure that when I went to bed, my ears were all covered, in case somebody would pour something down my ears.
I used to worry about Dracula.
Yeah,
I used to tuck myself in so they couldn't get to my neck.
Well, when I was a kid, I remember being about 7, the old age of my eldest, and watching Salem's Lot.
Oh, God.
Do you remember Salem's Lot, Dennis, with Starsky from Starsky and Hutch?
Yes, yes.
And the vampires. And the vampires at the window.
There's a lot of it about now.
What?
There's a lot of these vampires about now.
Yeah, there are. They're very popular now. Well, thank you for that, Dennis.
Anyway, get well, keep well, please.
Peace and love, love. There we go. Do you want to hear a story about a liar?
Always.
Oldest man in the world dies at the age of 146. What a liar.
Where's the next oldest man?
146. Not possible. A heavy smoker whose documents appear to make him the oldest person to have ever lived, has died at 146.
Right, whereabouts?
Indonesia.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying they're all dodgepots. Indonesian Sodimejo, who was also known as Grandpa Gotu, was born in December 1870, according to his papers. Come on, guys. However, there is some question over the reliability of this information, as Indonesia only started recording births in 1900. But officials in Indonesia say that his claims are valid based on interviews.
What, they could remember the olden days?
They just catch him unaware. When was your birthday? 1870.
Don't do the voice.
No, here's the thing. The voices are funny. The voices are funny. They're not that hurtful. I'm going to do the voices. This is me from now on. I'm doing the voices. They're funny. They're funny.
They're not accurate is my problem.
Oh, bloody hell.
Stop it.
It's funny. You're laughing? It's a funny voice. Why shouldn't I do it?
I'm horrified.
Hello, dear. I'm doing the voices. I've made the decision. Right. I've looked death in the face. I'm going to do the voices. What is the harm?
Death is nothing. It's the Ofcoms I'm worried about.
Oh, Franco Weimar.
No, stop it.
What? I'm gonna do the voices. From now on, if there's a Chinaman, Japanese gentleman.
Geordie?
Well, yeah, Geordie man. A Japanese Geordie man. Oh. I'm gonna do the voices. I am going to do the voices. And here's the thing. You will not get one Chinaman, one Japanese man, one Geordie man phoning up to complain.
Because the accents will be nothing like.
No, because they'll get it's a bit of fun. It is a bit of fun. We all just need to... Someone, 0344 499 1000, phone up and tell me why it's insensitive or, what's the word they use? Racist for me to do a Nigerian accent. Tell me why that is bad for me to do a Pakistani accent. Tell me why. You can't... There's no reason. There's no reason. I'm making a stand. I'm doing the voices. I'm going to do them more off-air than on-air to start with. But once I've got a repertoire, we're going to do a show. Like last night's show was a special. We're going to do a show. Iain Lee goes around the world.
No.
And with 3 hours...
Around the world in 80 voices.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to China.
No, don't.
I'm going to do the voices.
Do mine.
Well, yeah, you man.
No.
I tell you what, I'll tickle your balls for a favour.
What?
I'm right, aren't I, Ross? I'm right, aren't I, Ross?
Hello, Ian.
No, okay. Yeah, I'm right, aren't I, Ross?
Yeah, I come from Britwell Estate, Slough.
I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Me too. What street did you grow up on?
I was going to tell you, it's good to hear you and Kath back, because I remember you on another radio station in the morning.
We receive 3 counties radio.
That's right.
Home of the hits.
Kath went up to Birmingham, I think, didn't she?
She did something. There was
to dish up chips.
Basically, I lost my job, and it was Catherine's fault.
What?
And I have never forgiven her, Russell.
But the trouble is, Ian.
Yes.
They've got some muppet on there in the morning now, and he's not that funny.
Well, listen, I don't know the fella, and I've got no hard feelings against him. I wish him the best of luck.
Anyway, Ian,
yes.
I was going to tell you, because you're about 10 years younger than me.
Flipping heck, yeah.
But you're from the Britwell.
120 Monksfield Avenue. Monksfield Way.
I was in the Hetherington Close.
Where was Hetherington Close?
That was just round from the shops. Remember Wentworth Avenue?
Wentworth, yeah, because Wentworth's moved now.
Yeah.
And they knocked it all down and moved it onto the other side of, is it Reddings Lane, Long Furlongs Lane?
Right, yeah, the Long Furlong.
Sorry, Kath.
You're listening to I Remember When with Iain Lee.
I remember my phone number from when I lived in that address.
Oh, I remember mine.
Oh, once.
Yeah. But that television series you was on about was Some Others Do Have 'Em.
What?
Some Others Do Have 'Em, Michael Crawford.
No, I say I don't know this. I remember Michael Crawford from Barnum.
Oh, he was funny. He used to do all his own stunts and everything.
Well, what was it? He was in a circus?
No,
or the army?
It was a series on BBC. Or couldn't say that. But it was on every week. Some Others Do Have 'Em.
And it was like a posh family living next door to Another family.
They decided they'd had enough and they wanted to grow pigs.
Yeah.
Every job he went for, he used to mess up.
Yeah. Because he ended up borrowing money off Penelope Keith.
Yeah, Jerry.
Oh, and I'll tell you, his wife in the series was Michelle Dautrice.
Oh, Felicity Kendall.
And she was married to Edward Woodward.
Right, the Equaliser.
Yeah.
Now, I remember the Equaliser, and I remember Felicity Kendall, because, of course, she got...
Felicity Kendall, she was in A Good Life.
Yeah, exactly. Is that what we're talking about?
No, some mothers do have them.
Heck.
Oh, the army one.
No, it's
Lovely
not the
boy.
Army one.
Lovely boy.
Anyway, I'm ringing off. Bye-bye.
Was it the one where it was in the hotel in Torquay?
No, that was 40 Towers.
No, that was...
I've got no idea what that...
Hapless holidaymaker Keith Barron.
Okie dokie. Okay.
Duty free.
And the posh bird from that, Joanna somebody.
Lumley.
No, it wasn't. She had an angular nose.
Yes.
Katia will know, won't you, Katia?
Hello.
There we go. We'll find out if she knows after this.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Katia.
Hello?
I'm going to start doing the accents, Katia.
Yes, I think you should.
Yeah, going to.
That's just why I was ringing. I don't see any problem with that. Is there a problem?
Oh, thank you.
With the... No, but really, is it written in your Ofcom regulation book? Is it written, oh, please do not do the accent?
I've never actually read the book, but I know they frown quite heavily upon racism. I know that. I've run up against that before. So you've got to be careful about that. But I honestly, and this is not even me doing a thing now, right?
Yeah.
I honestly do not think... I can't see what the problem is with a bit of chalky.
No. Oh, God.
I can't see what the problem is. It's just doing a voice. But if I were to do Katia's silly voice, everyone would go, oh, that's a great, piece he's doing about Brexit. It's clever. It's satire.
Do it then.
Katia, my boyfriend Roger, and we are scared we are going to be evacuated from the country.
How does that make you feel as a Belgian person?
Yeah.
That's really do you know what? It doesn't make me feel. It makes me laugh, and I don't talk like that at all. But no, really.
All right, here we go. Hang on a minute. Right. So, and we'll do the list. Belgium. Okay. Right. Put that down. Okay. Hi, I'm from America. Okay.
Irish.
No, don't take the mic, please, Catherine. Please. This is actually. You could lose your job if I cross too many lines here. I'm from the United States of America, and I've got a gun, and I'm going to take it and fire it at a school. That's what they do. That's what they do.
Wow.
That's what they do. So that we're okay with American, right? Okay. We would like to ask you some questions about your papers. German. We find a little bit uncomfortable there, Catherine.
Well, it's just the cruel look in your eye.
A little bit, okay. To be sure. It's the little folk.
Oh,
Irish. Okay, now we're fine. Okay. Hello there. I am from India. Now, where are we going?
What?
We're in the Indian subcontinent. Suddenly it's got a little bit hot, and it's not just because we're thinking of all the delicious spicy foods and the increase in temperature. It's got a little bit hot because I've done an Indian accent. Why is it different? I've gone from Irish to Indian. What's the problem?
I think it's because the connotation is with that old-fashioned mocking impression people used to do of the Indians.
What do you mean? What? I'm not mocking.
You know what I'm talking about. Like, I like...
it's a genuine thing.
Breakfast
What
at
is the
Tiffany's,
difference?
but
Yeah.
I think that Mickey Rooney's Japanese impression ruins it. Because it's like, it's a horrible, stereotypical... Oh, it's horrible. And just rubbish.
No, I think you mean rubbery. Thanks very much. Now, here's the thing. Genuinely, Belgium, fine. American, fine. German, Irish, fine. Indian, oh. It gets a little bit. I'm going to move
because we oppressed them once.
I'm going to. So that we oppressed the Irish. We massacred the Irish. We massacred the Irish. I'm going to go northwest now. Hello, I'm Pakistani. Now, is that worse than Indian? I'm being genuine.
I think
now.
It's the same ballpark.
I would now, because if we're talking about the way we treated people, we treated what became the Pakistan when we allowed the partition of India. We treated what became Pakistan much worse than we treated what remained of India. We basically said if you're a Muslim, you've got 3 months to move all the way up to here, to the crappiest part of the subcontinent, and where it's awful and horrible. So we treated the Pakistanis worse than we treated the Indians.
Yeah, I wouldn't do either impression.
Okay. Let's now focus our attention on Africa.
Oh,
exactly.
You go first, Katia.
But it's such a big continent. Where do you go?
Nigeria.
Wow. I don't really have the accent in my head, so I can't do it. I can't.
I would like to help you.
Is that?
That's not bad. It's not bad. But I'm going to stop because I'm playing a slightly naughty game. But there is a genuine thing behind it. Okay, because this popped into my head the other day when I was off my face, right? And I don't want to cause offence, and I genuinely don't know how those voices would cause offence done in this context. But it really got me thinking. Why? Is it colour? Is it colour? Because Belgium, American, German, Irish, you could kind of argue, obviously with huge exceptions, you could kind of argue they're white, predominantly white, and that is, that is wildly inaccurate. But for the argument, whereas Indian and Pakistani and African, they are predominantly non-white. Japanese and Chinese would be classed as non-white. So is it a white thing? Is it a colour thing? Is that what it is? Is it a race thing? Is it that? It can't be about suppression, because we have never as a nation successfully suppressed the Chinese. I don't think we made any attempts to try and conquer China, did we? If we did, it didn't go very far. It wouldn't have gone very far. Whereas Japan ruled China for ages, which is insane.
Did you know the Americans had concentration camps for the Japanese during the war?
Yes, I did know that. Yeah. I did know that.
That's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. So it can't be for me to do a Chinese voice, and I'm not talking about doing the eyes and things. That clip of David Bowie, and I think it's in the China Girl video. He does the eyes. So I'm not doing the eyes because I think that is a racial
mockery.
That is mockery. Yeah, that is mockery. But the voice, I'm sure there's a really good reason for it, but I don't know what it is, and I've not been able to think what it is.
Hold on, listen. Also, the thing is, I think they are beautiful. I think the accents are beautiful because they are part of what the people are. I mean, speaking or not the language, it's normal that you've got an accent.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
If I'm talking to someone and they start doing a northern accent to me and they're not northern, I find it really annoying. Maybe it's the tip of that iceberg.
When I went to Japan, right, there's a band I like called Pizzicato 5, and they're a Japanese band, and they're called Pizzicato 5. And I went to HMV, and I said, do you have any Pizzicato 5? Blank face. Pizzicato 5. Blank face. And I thought, I'll try this. Pizzicato 5. And I said it in a Japanese voice. She went, Pizzicato 5. And she took me to the thing. Because I'd done it. It said it in the accent.
Yeah, but Katia, and you'll get this. When I lived in different places, I've lived in French-speaking places and Spanish-speaking places. If you don't know the words, there are kind of mechanisms you can try, aren't there? And sometimes you know that there is, if there's an English word for it, put in a slightly French spin on it or a Spanish spin on it. 9 times out of 10, it'll either be right or it'll be close enough they know what you're going on about.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing that you did there.
It's weird, isn't it? I mean, we all love the joke Chinese dentist time, 2:30. This chicken is rubbery, thank you very much. Why do so many Chinese people live in Harrow? And those jokes...
They're not nasty jokes, though, are they?
No. But the joke is the mispronunciation of the English language by someone. Why are there so many Chinese people in Harrow? Because as soon as they get off the joke is quite me, I suppose. As soon as they get off the aeroplane, they get in a cab and they say Harrow.
Oh, right, okay.
So, but I still don't think it's a particular. I still don't think it's just it's a silly joke. It's a nonsense joke. Of course, it's not true. I don't know if Harrow has a particularly big Chinese community or not. I don't know. But the joke is they can't say hello. Harrow. It's a thing. And is that we don't tell Irish jokes anymore. And
no, but they were massive in the 70s, weren't they?
Well, they were massive, and then it became Essex girls, and then it became blondes, and then it became, I don't know what it probably became Polish for a while. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is now.
Who are the people that the Belgians tell jokes about? Because this happens in every country.
Well, it's more the French telling jokes about the Belgians, really. I don't think the Belgians really take jokes about... I'm trying to think about... No, not really, no. Everyone laughs about us.
Well, the French make jokes about us only eating roast beef and having bad teeth and smelling.
But we're like historical enemies, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we're, you know...
I don't know. We you know, it's just...
It is it's an interesting question.
But so I'm going to do the voices, Katia.
Okay.
Thanks very much for calling. Yes, Az.
Hello?
Hello, Az.
Hello. Ian, if I do an American accent, but when I do it, I'm thinking of an American guy called Sanjeev, whose parents are from India, then does it make it racist?
No, because you're not doing... I don't necessarily subscribe to the thing that doing an Indian accent is racist. I don't necessarily... I guess the argument is the intent behind it. No.
Okay.
But I like the point that you are making.
Tell you what I've noticed in American dramas, or comedies actually more likely, they do the voice. They do the Indian voice, don't they? And they waggle their head.
Apu.
It's like proper old-fashioned 1970s Indian accent impressions.
Apu in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And also, having been to Pakistan and India, they do waggle their head. The waggling. I remember when I went to Pakistan and people were waggling their head when they were trying to make a point. I found it hilarious because they actually did. But you're right.
They do waggle their head. I couldn't tell whether they were saying yes or no sometimes. It was really awkward.
I know. I love the head waggle. I think it's such a charming thing. But yeah, you're right. There's another. It's not the Big Bang Theory, is it? There's
Raj.
He's got quite a thick Indian accent, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah, they do.
But is that because there aren't that many...
What? There aren't that many Indians?
No, I'm going to say there aren't that many roles for westernised Indian... You know, they're all first generation, aren't they? So whenever they appear on television in America, it always seems to be they're either exchange students or taxi drivers.
Yep.
The thing is, though, when I do accents, I just love doing the accents, even if I can't do it well. It's just a lovely thing to do, to appreciate someone else's accent.
Oh, I love doing a Nigerian accent. I'm going to say it. I won't do it on the air because because someone will get the wrong end of the stick and complain. I love doing a Nigerian accent.
It's about the intent, though, isn't it?
Well, as you know, I hate Nigerians. No, I don't. That's a joke. It's a small one, about this big. But no, it is. But all of it is. I don't know. I've run out of steam all of a sudden. I don't know. The accents are fun to do.
Appreciating their language, their accent.
Yeah, my eldest has suddenly developed a talent for doing accents, and it's great. It's much better than I could ever be. And he started doing accents, and I'm wondering if at some point he's going to do one. I'm going to have to go. Probably best we don't do that one for whatever reason.
So speaking of the boys, you started showing them Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Are there any monsters that you think are going to be too much for them, and you're going to have to skip that episode?
Yeah, the one with the weeping angels.
The angels, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, that's going to blow.
They are bloody terrifying.
I remember one from when I was a kid that terrified me, and the thing was like a slug in a tank. Do you remember that one? And it had this. It used to go ah. when it was talking. It was horrible.
I know the one to which you refer.
That scared the living daylights out of me as a kid.
The one that does the Hannibal thing?
Yes! Yeah, what was that?
I can't remember. That was a later one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kath's only little.
I am.
She's
not as old as I sound.
Well, he's quite old. Listen, thank you for that, mate. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Yes, Amanda.
Hi, Ian. How you doing?
I'm feeling a little bit ropey, but the end is in sight. A fan is being brought in to cool me down, so everything is groovy, Amanda. What you got
that's
for us?
good. I'm really sorry that you've been really poorly, and it's really nice to see you back on the air.
It's nice to be back and see my friends and talk to you.
So, Ian, tonight you were talking about, accents and racism and, what's conceived to be racist and what isn't.
Yes.
So can I tell you something?
Yeah, go on.
So, okay. So in the let's look back in the 1970s, there's Buckaroo, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of a 1970s woman. So Buckaroo...
Have you ever played Buckaroo, right?
I have. It's amazing.
No, and it's not gone off.
No, it's still there.
Me and the boys have been playing it recently, and some games it just hasn't gone off. It doesn't trigger.
My least favourite game.
Oh, maybe you haven't put it in the position where its hind legs have got to be
Come on.
Yeah.
Don't blame it on me. All right, anyway, go on.
But the back legs have to be in the position, because I play that with my son all the time. Yeah. Anyway, so 1970s, you've got, Buckaroo, Joy of Sex, that was what, 1970s book, Joy of Sex.
That
escalated. Was that 1970s?
Wowzers, I don't remember having that as a toy.
Oh, God. No, not a toy. I'm not talking about toys.
Okay.
I'm just talking about things from the 1970s.
Okay.
I remember when my parents were moving house, and they... They moved, and the van came up to the house, and my parents opened the back of the van. The Joy of Sex fell out. I was 5 years old, and I saw this geriatric old.
They were both of them. The gentleman and the lady were both very, very hairy. Very
slightly
hairy.
terrified me. I never looked at my parents the same way again. I just thought,
pencil drawings of a big hairy vagina.
It's not.
I saw that.
It's nature. It's natural. But no, I wasn't very, very excited about it. So my other thing was this macrame thing.
Yes.
Okay.
What's macrame? That's like knitting.
Macrame is like with string, and it's kind of like a plaiting thing.
I wonder. Yes.
Right.
Plaiting, yes.
It's like a plaiting thing, and it was big in the 70s, and you used to have these all kind of coloured balls.
We used to have, do you remember Looby Loo?
Looby Loo? Oh, that was a cartoon, wasn't it?
No, we had Looby Loo, right? And it was, it's like fidget spinners now.
They're amazing.
No, it's like plastic, and you'd weave the plastic, and you'd make a key ring. But then what you had to do to seal it off was you had to get a lighter and melt the end of it. And this was a kid's toy, Looby Loo.
It
was the craze.
Never allowed it now.
No.
But the reason I'm talking about this, sorry, I'm harping on a little bit, was when I was at college years ago, and we talked about the accents and stuff, and I was kind of a little bit bored at college. I don't know what was going on with me, but
I know where this is going. Yes,
I was in musical theatre, and it was all a bit bizarre. Anyway, so I was at home, and I thought, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I found my mum's book of macrame, and I thought, right, bugger it, I'm going to do some macrame.
Yes.
So I went to the local shop, and he was like the local Pakistani guy.
Yes.
Or ethnic guy. I don't know what's right to say or what's not right to say. And I said, and I had a few to drink, and I said, have you got any string? And he was like, yeah, I have a lot of string. And I said, I'm going to do some macrame. And he went, I know macrame. Very good, 1970s. What? And he did this voice.
Yeah. Right, listen, no, listen, I've got to let you go, and I'll tell you why. A, because that story was quite dull, and B, because I haven't got my faders here. So I hit the dump button, but I haven't got all of the tools that I would like to have when a yellow card. So if you're listening, the reason I cut you off is because my faders are broken. It's Paul Ross's thing. And when there's been one F-bomb, I've just got to be super, super careful. Okay, so that's all that is. Speaking of F-bombs, here's Paul.
I promise I won't use any swear words, but I know you're struggling tonight. You're not still feeling well, but I'll give you your second wind right now.
Paul's going to give me my second wind. How is he going to administer it to me?
Okay, you were talking about accents. Now, I think you push things really close to the limit. I don't know if you're on a suicide mission to lose your contract, actually, but I find it good.
Oh.
Okay, right. You were talking about a Chinese accent. Now, when I call up my local Chinese takeaway food place,
oh God,
I always use the same place.
Yeah.
And they usually store your number, don't they?
They usually do, yes.
And they remember your name because of your number.
Yes.
And they refer to me, not by my first name, but by my surname. They call me Mr. and my surname.
Is your surname Cox?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Because I would call you Cox.
Okay, I'm going to make you laugh now. Right, they refer to me by my surname. Now, I have a traditional English surname, but it's a bit unusual. When they say it, it makes me laugh. But I imagine your surname in a Chinese accent. So when they refer to you, if you call them up, they'll call you Mr. Wee, won't they?
No.
Not Mr. Lee, they'll call you Mr. Wee.
No, that's not how it works. No. They would say
in a Chinese accent.
Yeah, it would be Mr. Ree.
Okay, it's close enough.
It's not really. No, it's not. Ree is not close enough to we for it to make any sense whatsoever.
Okay, it's close enough.
It's not really, but thanks very much indeed. When I had Japanese lessons, and lovely Japanese lady came round, and I cannot for the life of me, began with an A, can't remember her name, but she saw Mr. Lee has booked some Japanese lessons, so she came round and she thought I was going to be a Chinese gentleman. Yeah, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Genuinely not trying to offend people by the accent thing. It has just been kind of playing in the back of my head a little bit as to why some are and why some aren't, and I'm sure that some of you have got some excellent reasons as to why that may be the case. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Yes, Cleo.
Hello, dude. I'm sorry about the incoherent ramble earlier. My brain just does that every now and again. But anyway, the accents thing. I think I don't understand why people are offended by accents, but I do. I think it's more people are offended by stereotypes that are sort of part of the accent, if you know what I mean. Not the accent itself. Because I can't help but do accents when I'm telling a story.
No, I disagree with that, because if I were to do a Nigerian accent now, there would be someone that would be offended. Whether I was saying, I don't know, okay, the Nigerian stereotype, a traffic warden. If I were being a Nigerian traffic warden, people would be offended at the Nigerian aspect as opposed to the stereotype of the traffic warden aspect of it, I think.
Do you reckon a Nigerian would be offended or would somebody be offended on behalf of them?
This is the question, I suppose, really.
It's impossible to answer because people are just people, aren't they?
Sorry? You've said that before.
Yeah.
What I mean is...
It's just people.
So, yes, some Nigerians would be offended, some won't, because some non-Nigerians would be offended and some wouldn't. It's no different.
Because I've got mates from Trinidad, and they love it when I do. Like, it's only in context. If I'm talk, I can't talk about a discussion with someone with a different accent, or even with a weird voice. Without doing that voice, and it's something like my mum's the same, she does the same. I don't know why, but I can't just say, my doctor said, Mr. Hewitt, you've got to do whatever. I'll say, my doctor said, Mr. Hewitt, you've got to, I can't not do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I love the accent. I'm not sort of trying to be offensive.
No.
And I live in an area like the northeast. You can literally go 5 minutes in any direction and find a completely different accent. It's weird. Like when I ring up and
accents are marvellous. Accents are delicious. Accents are what make the world. And you know what? In 50 years' time, we won't have any accents. There won't be any. There certainly won't. There won't be any accents in this country. They'll all of the British accents will be gone.
They used to say that Thames estuary will take over because of TV and stuff, didn't they?
Yep, exactly. And now everyone talks with that Australian thing at the end where they go up at the end of the sentence.
I know, I keep telling my daughter not to do that. Makes her sound unsure of herself. Girls do it more than boys, and it annoys me.
Yeah. I am not... The boys say things that I don't like them saying. They start saying, oh, my God. And things that I don't like. But I'm making a real point of not saying... Don't say that.
Well, I've just said to my eldest, who started doing that thing, I said, do you know what? Think about what you're going to say and say it like you mean it. You don't need to do that. You don't need to apologise for the way for your statements. Oh. No, because I think it's important.
Well.
It's a weird girl thing where they kind of back off because they don't want to offend anyone, and they're not saying anything that's offensive.
Oh, kids,
Yeah,
blimey. Struth. Apparently the best song in the world is George Michael's Careless Whisper. George Michael's Careless Whisper has been voted the best song ever.
By
George Michael, guy from Wham. Knocking John Lennon's Imagine, that's by John Lennon, off the top spot for the first time in 3 years. Smooth radio listeners cast more than 28,000 votes to choose the nation's all-time top 500 songs. And Michael's 1984 ballad took prime position just 4 months after his death.
Yeah, I think that's got something to do with it.
It's what he would have wanted.
Yeah.
Michael died of natural causes on Christmas Day at 53. The former Wham star also took second place with 1986 hit A Different Corner.
Oh, really? No, you've got to have the faith.
I don't even know the song Different Corner.
It's very...
what's the one where it's him, it's millions of him, and it's millions of that girl in a bar? You know the one?
No.
My mate Adam was in the video, so one of the hymns is him. There's millions of George Michaels, and there's millions of... I want to say Shia LaBeouf. Is she a singer?
It's a man.
Someone with a name like that, a young black soul singer with a name like Shia LaBeouf. Shola Ama?
Shola Ama. I don't remember her doing a song with him.
For crying out loud, Kath, why are you being such a dick?
I just don't remember.
Well, someone...
I'm trying to help you.
She did that was a good song. I enjoyed that song.
Well, how did it go?
I feel the sun is coming up and I can't hide.
Oh, okay.
The sun is coming up and
are you doing...
get bright.
Whoa, stop. Are you doing...
Yeah.
Are you doing Always, the Stevie Wonder cover? You are, aren't you?
Right, who's that with?
That's Mary J. Blige.
Yes.
I didn't like Shia LaBeouf.
Come on.
Or Shola Ama.
In terms of names, they are all very similar.
Really?
Yeah. I feel the sun is coming up inside my mind. That is a great song.
Well,
that is a great
sure it is.
song.
I have no idea what it is. Gosh.
He has 19 songs in the top 500 list. That's greedy. Only equalled by Sir Elton John. The ex-Wham star's duet with Sir Elton, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, Fna Fna, was 9th. So this is the top 10 songs of all time.
As voted by Smooth listeners.
Number 10. I've got to sing them, okay?
Oh, gosh.
Okay, hang on a minute. I don't know.
What you can't see at home is the singing face he does at me. Getting into his groove.
I'm trying to think how this one goes. We'll come back to number... No, we can't move on until we got it, right? Okay. Rolling in the deep.
Is it Holding Back the Years by Simply Red?
No, come on. You know the song. Rolling in the Deep by
Adele.
Don't let the sun...
You can't... Right, can we establish some rules? You can't just sing the title.
Okay. It's something that I see. All I thought I had was just ahead of me. So don't let the sun...
Okay, yeah.
We used to have a rude version of that at school.
I bet you did.
Baby, I want to get down and you're going to play my big fat willy. Oh, baby.
Is it a new song? Or is it...
Yeah, baby, I'm going to get down and make some love in front of the fire.
This is Barry White.
Yep.
Which one, though?
Don't
matter.
I don't even know this song.
What is it?
Adele, make you feel my love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Here we go. Here's one. I'll get to the bit where it's not the thing. We get to the bit where it's not the light. So go your way, I'll go mine. But remember, our love was out of time. 'Cause
That's not the lyric. So you go your way.
That's it, isn't it? There you go.
I take it that was the Whitney version.
There you go. Young and sweet, only 17.
Dancing Queen, how about...
I don't know the song Hello by Adele.
Hello, it's me.
I don't know the song... Oh! Hang on, I've got to get into it. We almost had it all. Oh, yeah. We almost had it all.
Isn't that Rolling in the Deep again?
Is it? Oh, I was trying to sing Someone Like You. By Adele. Is that not it?
No.
Okay, and then the other two are George Michael. It's a good game. Let me do another song. Okay.
This reminds me of when I used to play Name That Tune with my sister, and she used to do All Sin Ilda, All Sin Ilda.
Okay, I do. Let me do a song.
Go on.
Okay. Let me think of a song. Hang on. I got one.
Face.
One look, one touch, 1,000 years.
One vision.
No. One look, one touch, 1,000 years.
We'll still be round. Kind of Magic.
Yes.
Well,
do you know my
sing the actual words and do me a favour.
Do you know my favourite Queen song? And Queen fans will love me for this.
Is it Bicycle?
No. This is a great
one. Is it?
I'll play it. I'm going to play it.
No. Is it this one? Boom, 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 boom. Bash!
No. This has got to be the greatest Queen song. I don't know why this isn't Queen. See if you recognise this is really this shows I've got my my knowledge is spot on music. Here we go. This is a classic. Here we go. Greatest song Queen ever did. You know it? No?
I'm the invisible man. I'm the invisible man. Incredible how you can
see right through me. I'm the invisible man. I'm the invisible man. This is Queen at their best. You cannot get a better Queen song.
when you hear a sound.
Hang on.
That you just can't.
Did you just shout out Freddie Mercury there?
No, it was Brian May.
Was it on the record?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. I'm watching your lips. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! And it don't look good. Who you gonna call? Freddie Mercury!
I'm the invisible man. I'm the invisible man. Incredible how you
The irony being, he was very visible because he was a massive show-off.
He was a big old ponce, wasn't he? Big old ponce, Freddie. Big old ponce.
I wouldn't like to be the person who had to put those mic stands back together.
No,
When he'd done his business with them.
Yeah, we all know what he did with those. Now, absolutely
ridiculous.
Absolutely outrageous behaviour for a man of his age. There's an advert in the Mirror today. Oh, that was what always put me off. Here we advert in the Mirror today. I was thinking of getting these for you. These look like a lot of fun. It's only 30 quid.
It's not nipple clamps again, is it?
No. It's only 30 quid. You'll like this. Oh, no, you save 30 quid. That's only £19.95 plus £3.95 postage packet. Get 2 of them. 2 6-foot scarecrows.
My mum bought me them.
No, you're joking.
I've got, mini version, yeah.
A fun addition to your garden.
They were fun. They were a lot of fun.
And a great way to keep on what's in it. What I'd do, I'd set them up in the garden.
You could get them closer and closer every day and terrify the boys.
Yeah, with their hands outstretched. and then sometimes they'd be going back, but they'd have something from the boys' bedroom.
Yeah, a sock
in their mouth.
Sometimes a knife.
And then they'd leave like a little straw poo.
Oh.
A knife?
That's a level of detail I wasn't expecting.
Oh, a knife? I'm not going to threaten my children with knives.
Okay. But demon...
Strictly guns in our house.
Demon scarecrow.
Here we go. These are good names. Look, these charming scarecrows, Florence and Fred.
Oh.
I think if I'm paying 20 quid for 2 scarecrows, I'm going to name them. Will help protect seedlings, plants and flowers without the use of harmful chemicals or ultrasonic devices. Well, they won't, though, because... Scarecrows
don't know what they are.
Scarecrows have never, ever worked.
Look at Wurzel Gummidge. He was rubbish, wasn't he?
Let me just put on me licking head. Measures an impressive 6 foot. Oh, thank you, Aunt Sally. And mounted on a solid bamboo pole, they are traditionally dressed.
A solid bamboo pole being a cane.
And feature long corn hands, feet and hair designed to deter even the bravest of birds and pests as they wave in the wind. Designed to last a number of seasons, so that's less than a year.
Yeah.
They should be stored over the winter months to maximise their lifespan.
Yeah, I was just rotted.
Was $49.99, now $19.99.
49? What? How much?
50 quid.
50 quid for 2 of them.
But then also, it says this, so you don't need harmful chemicals or ultrasonic devices, right? The thing they're advertising on top of it is an ultrasonic device, so...
I had one of them. I had a cat scarer.
Yeah.
Someone nicked it.
We had great success with those for mice.
Yes, I had them for mice because when I was pregnant, there was a mouse in the garage. And I was concerned. I didn't want, dead mice or live mice around, really. Didn't want to be catching them.
No.
And it would be my job.
I would happily stove a mouse's head in.
Eesh.
Oh, with pleasure.
I've picked one up before and lost it that a cat brought in.
Well, on that bombshell.
Fun times.
On that bombshell, dear listener, we've come to the end of another rip-roaring show. Don't forget to go and download the podcast. If you go to iTunes and type in Iain Lee and Talk Radio, they will pop up. Thank you, Catherine, for holding my hand as we tentatively came back and did the show today.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you to all of the callers, all of the contributors, all of the...
listeners.
Oh, just forget it. I'm done.
Talk Radio.
Join the Talk Nation.
Dial up and talk radio.
We'll get you talking.